What is up, RotoGrinders? Dean here. Dean 78904. If you want to get all technical, it is 5 o'clock on the East Coast. Started 2+ hours nonstop. Mlb Dfs conversation taking y'all straight up to lock tonight. Crunch time. You got Dave Potts, Cheeseisgood, 2-time millionaire winner, as well as DerekCarty, CEO of the Bat and the Blitz, coming in around 6:15, 6:20 or so. Roth will be there moderating. I couldn't think of that word for some reason. He'll be hosting. That's a much easier word to say. I don't know why I took the scenic route. Of course, Roth, if anything's going down weather-wise, will be on top of it. I did just drop the most recent update to his weather report. And earlier in the day, Kansas City, St. Louis looked like it could be potentially dicey. It appears to be a bit better. And I'm not concerned about weather at all at this point. But again, the weather is fluid and things changes. Roth will be all over it. Let you guys know it's 6:15. It is the battle of the knockers and the Spidey bombs, the triple G as well. The BBP model, that head chopper joining us on a Friday. Chop, how are things in your world? I've not heard your voice yet today, but I'm excited to hear it. Chop, what's up?
Does this mic work, Dean? Does this mic work?
It sounds perfect to me.
Exactly, Dean. I don't need to rearrange my mic every show. Just bring the good stuff every show, man. I don't have to mess with it. My mic's always working. I mean, it's Friday, Dean. What else can we do here? It's a good time right here. Yeah, this is good times right here. So
you could play preseason DFS NFL.
I'm gonna pass on that one, but you guys knock that out, Dean. Yeah, Dean. What is it? The 11th. 2 weeks from today, we'll be on the eve of some college football. So I'm gonna pass on the preseason, and I'm gonna get ready for the real stuff.
UCF in the Big 12 now, Chop. We had Houston. We're gonna leave Houston in the dust. They can stick around in those terrible conferences. I assume Houston's still the same. Your Cougars are in the same spot.
Team.
Or have you guys moved? I don't know. I don't follow college
football
as well as I should.
Buffoon, sir.
Am I a donkey? Am I wrong here?
It's in the Big 12. Houston.
We both went there, right? Yeah.
And there's by 2024, there will be 16 teams in the Big 12. They have to rename it the Big 16 because the Pac-12 just broke up and a bunch of teams joined too. So, yeah, Dean, we're there, brother.
How many teams are in the Big 10 currently?
I think right now I want to say 12, but again, the Pac-12 just broke up, and they're gonna have to do some rearranging on that name too, because yeah, it's interesting. I find it fascinating. I think we're headed to 3 big conferences, and you can split each conference into 2 divisions, and there's gonna be some interesting things here in the next 4 or 5 years.
I was just looking at my UCF Knights against your Houston. I think the Cougars, I believe they faced each other this year as well. I'm not sure if it's a home or away game, but yeah, we'll keep that rivalry going forward for sure. Also coming in, TJ busted out the Floby yesterday, got the fresh cut. Welcome to Friday, TJ. How are things in your world?
Things are doing very well in my world. Big MLB DFS slate today, so got a lot to break down. But went for brunch with my parents this morning. Had a nice start to the day. Got some content in, and now I'm ready to break down the slate.
What time is brunch?
Brunch was 11 a.m. this morning.
Yeah, I think is that right, Chop? Brunch 11 a.m. That's about right.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not a brunch guy, Dean. Give me some.
Who's anti-brunch?
Give me some breakfast, man. Some real breakfast.
Well, it's basically the same food. You might work some sandwiches in or something like that. But brunch is basically breakfast if you sleep in.
I like to get my breakfast in nice and early, and energizes you to start your day. You had energy to start your day with.
I mean, I woke up at 10, and so it was basically breakfast.
Yeah, it's for breakfast for people that sleep in, or if you want a mimosa. Did you have a mimosa? Was that your thing?
No, I just had water to drink, but then I had 2 eggs, some sausages, hash browns, rye toast, and a pancake.
Oh, fade the rye. I mean, you're gonna power rank bread. Rye is like the.
I love rye toast.
Oh, it's the worst. Rye's the worst. I don't know if it's a hot take or not, but. Chop, are you pro rye?
I'm gonna pass on the rye. I'm not going to, berate the man for eating some rye if that's what he chooses, but I'm gonna pass personally.
All right, we have 2 hours here, plenty of time to knock out tonight's MLB DFS slate. Do you want to say what's up in the chat? Kindly hit that like button. Do subscribe, turn on those notifications, do all those things so we can keep the lights on. And you have plenty of incentives today, not just Chopper's triple G play, not just Chopper's BVP suggestion play. You got his knockers as well. Like we said, since since we have TJ in the show. TJ, one of the greatest DFS players in all of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada. He's got Spidey lurking as well. That means Chop will counter with his triple G plays. I'm happy to knock out the dong picks as well. Get all the dongs, all the homers. It's Friday. Let's have a good time for sure. All right. Yeah, let's go. Let's do it. We see a lot of the usual suspects there hanging out in chat. All right, let's dive in. TJ, give me the synopsis, the 30,000 foot view as far as tonight's slate. One of the worst pitchers in baseball, ERA wise, is like the chalkiest pitcher on the slate. I understand why. What can go wrong? Also, Carty's going to be on later. The bat, I'm not sure if you probably saw, but man, this pitcher is really, really popping in the bat, and it's going to be super, super heavily owned, mostly because of the opponent. We'll talk about it in a second, but give me your screenshot as far as today's slate.
I will likely be on most of the offenses with the highest totals. Some are chalky, some not so chalky, but pitching today is going to be where I'm looking to get different. It's a 13-game slate. I have a very specific strategy in MME today. I'm running 150 lineups. I got 7 pitchers in my pool, Dean. So I think you're going to have a really tough time with the feud today.
You're going to roster some bad pitchers?
I wouldn't say any of them are bad.
Yeah. The Rye, like whatever the Rye comp is, as far as pitchers, that's you're going to be rostering for sure. The other interesting thing, and I'm curious with the other part of your, I'm guessing you're just going to load up on Braves. Like that's like the Braves and Dodgers. That's kind of what I'm hearing without you actually saying it. Is that what you're saying, sort of, in so many words? I feel like that's
right now the Dodgers are my highest owned stack, and the Braves are number 2.
Well, there you go, TJ. That it just kind of works out that way, I suppose. And you did mention something interesting: 13 games, 26 offenses, and we have our consensus rankings when it comes to not just position by position, but we have it when it comes to actual stacks. And what I found interesting is there's 26 teams playing. 4 of us did rankings: myself, STL Cards, Dave Potts, Kirkwood. And we only have a total of 6 teams. We ranked 5. So we're like, overall, we're very much in agreement. And, weird things happen in baseball. And it's probably a good day to get a pretty goofy, especially when 13 games, chalk can only be so much. But like Kansas City and St. Louis, when have they ever let us down? Oh, wait, every single time you play them, they're going to be pretty popular today because, positive ballpark. Adam Wainwright is still throwing bases, still trying to get that 200 win. I think he's still stuck on 198. But your thoughts here, Chop, as far. Oh, by the way, before I bring Chop in, I should mention, mentioned the consensus rankings. I mentioned the NFL. If you want to actually grind the NFL tonight, grind NFL, DFS, we have projections for that. I saw Kyler Murray put an article out there as well for the people. You can get that for free if you guys are not premium members for whatever reason. You're not an RG premium member. Get yourself into the Discord, RotoGrinders.com/Discord. Go into the live stream chat channel. Around 6 o'clock or so, producer Steve, he's going to be taking everybody's name that drops a thumb. Now, don't actually drop the thumb. It gives Steve too much work. It's a terrible idea. He's going to put something in the live stream chat, a message in there, and literally just click the thumb. Click the thumb. You're eligible. Your name goes on the board. 1 week free, RG Premium. You get the projections. You get the articles. You get the optimizer. There's too many things to list. All the sports, every sport you can think of, MMA as well. Everything with the exception of NASCAR. NASCAR is a la carte, but yeah, have at it. And by the way, the Discord channels, they are free. Most of them are free. This one is free. That would be weird if it wasn't. I would not direct you to a channel that was premium. And we hang out there and have a conversation throughout the day. Myself and TJ and Alex, and I saw Tuttle in there and Andy Means. I did at Chop. Chop did not make an appearance. Chop was I guess you were big time at us, Chop. You were too busy throughout the day, but typically you're in there chopping it up with the people. But just wanted to get that out there, let people know in about 45 minutes or so, top of the hour, 6:05, we'll be spinning the wheel. Get yourself eligible to win a week free. Now, Chop, I want your assessment. What are we looking at tonight as far as the big boy slate, 13 gamer?
Well, Dean, I didn't big time anybody. I just had a very busy day today, preparing for a birthday party tomorrow. So hopefully,
child or wife?
Yeah, no child. So hopefully nobody's watching the show and ruin the surprise. But I was preparing for that one. It's been a long day, but so I didn't big time you, Dean. But as far as this 13 games, you got some good pitchers, you got some really bad pitchers. So I like these kind of slates every once in a while because I don't have to even really think about it too much. Because it's all luck in the big GPPs anyway, Dean. It's all just pure luck. So I'm just going to throw some stuff at a wall and hope it sticks. That's my overview of tonight's slate.
That's what we're doing, Chop? Just throwing stuff. I mean, but there's you're going to be selecting certain things to throw, right? You're not just picking. You're not throwing Wainwright at the wall.
No, not throwing Wainwright. I mean, but it takes a lot of a slate like this takes a lot of the really nuance out of the lineup to me. Multi-entering, 150. Something like, I'm definitely going to get rid of some players, but still, I'll have plenty of pitchers. I mean, because there's a lot of pitchers tonight. I'm splitting hairs on some of these guys in their price ranges. Plenty of good stacks. I mean, it's wide open. So 13 games, good pitchers, great stacks. It's going to be tough to win GPPs. There's going to be high scores to win GPPs, and I think slates like this kind of take some of the thinking out of it. Now, with that being said, if you're single entering or you're hand building your lineup or your 3 lineups, there's always nuance in that. So you definitely want to. But I'm talking about those 10,000 plus GPPs tonight with this many games, as many good players. Yeah, there's a lot of luck involved, but we'll sort through as much as we can.
What sort of rules, or if any, are you putting on as far as your stacks tonight?
Got a maximum stack. That's the one rule. Maximum stack everything. So that'll be the rules I make.
So 5 3s on DK and 4 4s
I very rarely go the 5-3. When I max stack, it's 4-4. I prefer the 4-4 route. I don't know, 5-3. But then again, last summer, I won a big DraftKings tournament with a 5-man stack. So it's weird, Dean. Here's the fickle thing about baseball and a lot of sports, but I think baseball more than anything else. I have my rules in place. I have my projections being not necessarily the bat, but the bat being a source that I use, and I'll plug them in and I'll figure all that out. And with RotoGrinders Lineup HQ, you can also one of the really cool things you can do is aggregate your projections. I can say I trust the bat more than another source. So I'm going to have the bat there. I'm going to have Lineup HQ project and whatever else I want. But I want the bat to make up like 70% of that projection. And I can aggregate it that way. So it's really cool. So you got your projection. Now I can go back and I can run my lineups for that day, and I can go back in time and I can look at it. And sometimes you realize, well, gosh, damn it. If I would have done a 5-3 instead of a 4-4, I would have won the 5K or I would have won the 10K or it's so weird. It's so fickle. But when you feel comfortable with something, even though it could be that particular night, the 5-3 could win. I've been more successful with a 4-4 in the past. So that's the general rule. I don't really go 5-3s.
How about yourself, TJ? Any particular rules you're putting in as far as your stacks?
Yeah, I always make sure to have at least a 5-man. So I divvy it up between 5-3s, 5-2s, and 5Xs. I usually have it so that 40% of my lineups are 5Xs, 40% are 5-2s, and then 20% are 5-3s.
All right. And again, you too can win. You can get yourself access to all the RG tools. Go into the Discord channel, rotogrinders.com/Discord. Go into the live stream chat channel. I'm jumping in there right now. I'm assuming, let's see, producer Steve did go ahead and drop the link. Yeah, there you go. Just put a thumbs up under, it's a Steve HOF. If you're not sure who it is, I see a couple people are putting, well, that was Meansy. Meansy was saying what not to do. Or, okay. Meansy was doing the wrong thing, but he was putting a thumb there, let people know. Yeah, make Steve, make his life a little bit easier. Put all the thumbs right underneath the original post. By the way, in the MLB Discord, I should mention, one of the users is having there's a free roll going on. It's not for a massive amount of money, but somebody's running a DK free roll. So go ahead. It's another reason to jump into the conversation. I believe 1, 2, and 3 are getting paid out. TJ, you wanted to jump in there and participate, but they did. They were smart enough to add the stipulation. Nobody that works for RG is allowed to qualify. So if you want to play in there, you can, just for funsies. And you appoint the scoreboard. But 1, 2, and 3 non-RG people gonna hit the scoreboard. So I'm not sure if you've registered for that or not. But yeah, so you've been banned, just for the record, because you have a history. I don't want to go through it, but you have a history of trying to get maybe some of Bobby Gomes' tickets he was running out for the people. on his, as he was giving some away on Twitter. You understand why this happened, right?
I understand that Dean is not very good at sarcasm, but that's about the only part of that whole monologue that I got registered in here.
Ever since you got this new haircut, TJ, you've been too big for your britches. All right, let's dive in. We're gonna play the feud, Chop. You know how to play the feud, right? You're aware of the family feud, yeah?
I like the celebrity family feud, Dean.
Why is that more fun?
I don't know. It's just more entertaining to watch the celebrities go at it than the normal people. But yeah, I got a little family feud. Let's get it.
Before we dive into it, we're 4 likes away from our first Spidey Bomb. So keep hitting that like button. We'll drop them every single 50 likes. And so first one coming right now, because I know 4 more people are going to give us that click and get us up over 50. We actually did have somebody in chat guess the first one. Whoa! I think, my wife might have just got home and the dogs got a little crazy with it. But we're going with Nick Castellanos. He hit for the Spidey Bomb yesterday. He's been hot recently. He's got a great matchup, and he's plus 540 on FanDuel. I love those odds for Castellanos today. So he is Spidey Bomb at number 1.
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. I don't really know how to handle that game, but like somehow Dallas Keuchel is back in our lives. He's throwing baseballs professionally. In his very first start, he struck out 0 batters, but he got 1 billion ground balls, and that's kind of what he's done historically. So I don't know how to handle him, but like he's not going to strike people out, but he doesn't give up a ton of fly balls either. But you should be able to hit him, and it's tricky. I'm curious to have that conversation. Like I'm playing some Phillies, but I wish like he didn't just unload a pile of ground balls, just setting up a whole bunch of double plays. But you're going to hit it somewhere. That's the way what I expect. And I'm curious what you guys think of the Phillies today. I think they're one of the more popular stacks on the board. So, Chop, TJ's told us we usually play the over-under game, but TJ's already spoiled that bit. 7. He's rolling out 7 starting pitchers, and he kind of framed the conversation basically saying his pitchers are kind of goofy. So he's almost sort of like saying, hey, without saying it, I'm not going to have Corbin Burns, or I'm not going to have Luis Castillo. I'm not telling you how to play the feud. I'm just telling you this is sort of what TJ was saying. Did I hear you correctly?
The last time you deduced that after I said that, you got like the first 4 picks wrong.
Okay, but I was correct. My original deduction was correct, but then my what I did with that analysis was poorly executed. No, is that what happened? I think
I have I don't say you're the one who told me I got some bad pitchers today, and I said I don't think any of them are bad. I just have a very specific strategy today.
Okay, well, Chop, I'm going to yield. You go first since you're the visiting team. You get to go first. Who is on TJ's board? Who's amongst these 7 starting pitchers?
Dino. First off, I'd like to say that this guy's already stolen my BVP player suggestion of the day. What? Nick Castellanos was the BVP suggestion of the day.
Does he have access to your model? Is that what's going on, or is your model just too easy to crack?
I think it was just a random, just the way random things happen sometimes, Dean. So I don't know. I got Castellanos as the suggestion of the day, so let's get that out of the way. Now, let me get to this family feud board here. I'm going to say my first guess. I'm going to say Tariq Skubal.
Ding, ding, ding. First guess up is 1 for 1. I have 28% Tariq Skubal today.
Skubal's been awesome. The issue with him is how many pitches is he going to throw? What are we currently projecting for? I'm guessing somewhere 81. Okay. I mean, like I can't imagine he gets more than that. A huge history of injuries. Detroit is going nowhere. There's no point in them pushing him. But he's been, spectacular. I guess you're just hoping he just throws 5 really good innings. Is sort of the thought process. 31.1% as far as the Ks this year. The Sierra's below 3 at 2.82. He's yet to give up a homer this year, so a little bit of luckiness as far as the homer and the fly ball. But yeah, and Boston's been kind of gutless of late as well, right? They've been chalky and gutless. I don't know if Kirky's updated his gutless power rankings, but yeah, talk to me about Skubal because I'm a little bit conflicted. He's on the fringe for me. What is the upside, right? Or is just like 15 points fine?
Low ownership and high strikeout upside. And so if he gets 80 pitches, I think 15 points could be a very low projection of what he could get for us on this one. I think with that strikeout upside, he can get up over 20, even if it's only 80 pitches. Like, look, in his last couple games, he's had 24, 7, obviously not good. And then the one before back was 32 in 5 innings. So the strikeout upside is there. I think he can push for 20 points at low ownership.
By the way, I should give the rundown as far as ownership today. Jumping off the board is Lance Lynn at 38% ownership, according to the RG MLB Plate IQ projections. I did not look, but I bet you, I'll do it now on the fly. I bet you Carty's ownership projections are even higher because his projection is even higher. Yeah, Carty's got him at 41%. So he is going to be very heavily owned. I'm not going to unleash that one just yet. I'm going to save that for maybe Chop will take it. You certainly might have Lance Lynn in your board, but I do know in part because I was in the Discord earlier and you're kind of talking about it with several other people. Yohan Adon is going to be on the board for you. He's cheap. He's throwing baseballs professionally for Washington, and he's facing a terrible Oakland team, obviously. I think there is – I would just say, and I was talking about this as well, and he's on the board, right, TJ?
Second highest owned pitcher, 29%. Yeah,
so his MLB numbers this year in a small sample, 11 innings, he only has 1 start, a couple relief appearances. The K's are not going to continue going forward, 27%. It's going to be lower than that. They were 20% in the minor leagues by 9 innings or so this year, almost 10% walks too. So he's not a great pitcher, but he's cheap and he's facing Oakland. And I guess that's the best thing you could say about him. He's not horrific, but TJ, what do you want to add? Like, is that basically he opens up the bats for you and that's more important than anything else?
Yeah. Cheap pitcher against the Oakland A's isn't getting ridiculous projected ownership today. I like him.
All right, we're 2 for 2, myself and Chop. Chop, don't you know what a no hitter? You're not supposed to talk about it. I'm talking about it because jinxes aren't real. So Chop, you can keep the streak alive. Let's go 7 for 7. Who's the next?
Okay,
pick?
I didn't have the distinct advantage, Dean, of monitoring TJ's Discord chat all day long. So you have the leg up on this competition, and you've been piecing this stuff together.
But you've been watching Celebrity Family Feud, doing research. You know how this game is played.
I'm sensing a bit of a theme here. And so my next guess here, going out on a limb, not going chalky. I'm going Mr. And I've been impressed with this guy this year, Mr. Christopher Sanchez.
Ding, ding, ding. Oh! Christopher Sanchez in the pool, 27%. I got 5 pitchers today who are kind of in the same tier, and he's one of them alongside Adon and Scooball. So, yeah, great job, team. We're crushing it today.
All right. Sanchez is fine, right? Basically, it's the price. Is that more or less what's putting you there? You should be fine and probably not blow your team up. And the Twins are, not very good. They strike out a fair bit. We have a good strikeout lineup too, right, TJ?
Yeah, it's the price, yes, but it's really just the fact that they're facing the Twins. Twins are such a heavy strikeout lineup. There are a few guys in there who don't strike out a ton, but there also are others like Gallo and Taylor and Luplow with their gigantic strikeout rates today. Couple lefties in that lineup, and he's got a 29% K rate to lefties, and he gets some Ks to the righties as well. Great ground ball guy, and it's Minnesota. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm checking our consensus rankings. Where is Sanchez? Like 6 or 7 on the board. He's let's see, 1, 2, 3. He's 6th. For what it's worth, he's 6th. Scooball is 7th, and I'm the only one to rank Yohan Adon, which is a little uncomfortable. But I had him 8th on the board. But I'm going to take another one that's like a safe play according to your strategy, and then it gets a little tricky from here, I think. But like for sure, without question, no conversation. Well, we'll have the conversation, but I feel really, really confident here, TJ. We're going to go 4 for 4 because you have Paul Blackburn. It's got to be in your pool.
Highest owned pitcher, 46% today. Blackburn has been one of my favorite targets all season long. I just think he's better than most people think he is, and he's got a great matchup against a horrifically bad Washington lineup. They got a couple strong bats at the top, but then it just falls. And so, yeah, I love myself some Paul Blackburn today. He strikes out more lefties. He gets more ground balls to lefties, and they got 5 of them and 6 of them in that lineup today. So yeah, I'm all aboard Paul Blackburn. He's my favorite pitcher.
Not to actually you, but I think it's 5 lefties, if I'm counting correctly. The righties are Thomas, Meneses, Stone Garrett, and Call. So there's 5 lefties, but point still made.
Forgot Ruiz.
Wait, hold on. You were counting lefties or righties?
Lefties.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lefties.
Do I got to refresh my HQ?
Wait, 1. Abrams, Ruiz, Smith, that's 3. Alu, and Vargas. I said 5.
You're right. Yeah, I had to refresh lineup HQ.
Okay. Yeah, all right.
It was the projected lineup. I was looking at the projected lineup.
Chop, what are you doing with Blackburn as far as ownership tonight? He's one of those guys that kind of make stuff work. You know, Lynn's going to be the most popular pitcher. Blackburn is the most popular cheapie. We'll talk about Verlander and Castillo in a second, but Blackburn currently getting 15% ownership on DK and Tony and Sets. What a crop of pitchers. Yeah, I mean, this is not a who's who of pitchers you feel comfortable with, but I understand the strategy you're going with. You're going to talk about it. We do live in the world of a salary cap, and you're going to have a lot of Braves and a lot of Dodgers. If those guys have sort of survived, you'll be fine. But Chop, give me your thoughts as far as Blackburn tonight.
Yeah, I'm on board with Blackburn. He's inexpensive, and these last 2 starts, he's dominated, man. Now it's been weak competition, but so is this. So I'm on board with Blackburn tonight. He'll be one of those pitchers in my pool for sure. Also,
let's see. Oh, Eric in chat saying Blackburn. They're asking if Blackburn is chalk. I never really know how people define chalk, Chop, but like if this ownership number is true as far as large field stuff, we have Blackburn around 15%. 15% is not chalk.
That's high. That's going to be high. He's not.
I think it's going to be higher than that too.
No, I think that's too high.
Wait, you think the projection is too high?
Yeah, I think it'll be lower than that.
Oh,
I mean, because this whole thing that we're talking about is cheap pitchers in good matchups right now. Like the field is going to have a field day with Castillo, Verlander, Snell, and Burns, the expensive guys who will eat up a bunch of chalk.
And Lynn being the main SP.
And Burns is not going to get owned. Burns is going to be like 10%.
He's okay. 10. That's
10's
a lot.
Not chalk.
On a 13-game slate, it's not chalk, but it's up there. And we haven't even talked about Lynn. And Lynn,
yes,
is with this matchup and this price tag, I think 40 might be a little low on Lynn in some of these contests. I actually think he might be higher than that. So, point being, I don't think Blackburn gets to 15%. I actually think he's lower than that. I think he's at least 10 at most.
Chop, we got to slide to the DMs. We got to wager on this.
Dean, I don't have to wager on every little thing that we disagree.
I want some sweet chop bucks. I never get them. I never have a chance.
I know you don't get them because I make smart wagers, Dean. He's not going to get to 15. He's not. Oh, let's rephrase it, Dean.
Yeah,
depends on the contest. If you're in a single entry for
over
$100, it'll be way over because it's a much smarter field. In the big, what is it tonight? $15 GPP, 100K up top.
Still over.
He'll be way under because a lot of those people will be on the Verlander train and the expensive guys. So
the tie, TJ.
On what? I think Lynn will be more than 40% on.
We're talking what Lynn? You're 2 minutes ago. We'll talk about Lynn in a second.
Is Blackburn? I say under 15%. He says over 15.
Under 15%.
Okay.
Oh, I want some loonies and toonies. Slide in.
Dean,
come on,
you're obsessed, brother. You're obsessed. All right, now let's get back to feud board. Now it's tough, okay? Because now we're out of those layup matchups / price tag. I don't know if TJ would attack a pitcher that's going to be 40+% owned. Like Lynn is there, and he should. Like he's going to be highly owned for a reason. He's got this matchup and his price tag. The Dodgers are really. They've done a good job of accentuating the good parts of his game since he got there. I don't know if TJ would go that route though. So this is where it gets tough, Dean, right? Don't you agree, Dean? This is where it gets tough.
Well, yeah, the decision point here for Lance Lynn.
Would TJ? It's not what I take him, or is Lance Lynn a good player or not? It's would TJ take Lance Lynn? I've got another guy.
I left them for you. That's why I wanted to keep passing them around like a hot potato.
I don't like. I got another guy in mind that I think might be on TJ's radar, but man, that's a risky one, Dean. I'm gonna say.
I think he's taking either like a stance of like 80% Lynn or like no percent Lynn.
I think didn't he already say his highest guy was 31%? So that would eliminate that.
Highest is Blackburn at 46.
So
So that might eliminate the Lance Lynn over thing.
He might not be playing Lynn at all. I think that's possible.
Yeah, I'm going to pass on Lance Lynn. That's a risky one at that. I'm trying to get in his head right now. I don't know if he'll go this route because, guys coming off the injured list are a little bit rough, but I'm going to say Chris Sale. He's got a cheap price tag and a good matchup too.
Chris Sale.
Too worried about that pitch count. Like, I really think he's going to go like 45.
I have not considered Chris Sale. I'll be honest. Like, what should we look at here, Chop? As far as Sale, like, what is this pitch count projection?
It's all about the pitch count projection. Okay, I don't know what that is. If I knew kind of in the term, if I heard somebody say from the actual Red Sox that was authentic, what his pitch count was, I could go by that. But we don't know. I think that's the thing because. If they let him go 80 pitches tonight, and he cruises through 5 innings with this matchup against this team, I mean, my gosh, didn't you see the gif of Javier Baez? He swings at everything, man. Like, in Sale, you got under. I remember him. I thought he was washed, but earlier this year, what's that?
Close to 53 pitches tonight.
Who said that?
Boston Sports Fanatics.
Okay. See again, credible.
53?
Yeah.
Okay.
What that's the number they're projecting, 53?
That does seem a little odd, right?
Are you sure it's not like Ballsack Sports or something like that? That's tweeting that out.
It's Boston Sports Fanatics.
Where would they get 53 from? I get Carty having a 53.
Is not right.
I get Carty
over at 53.
I mean, so that's what it's all about. Like, he was really good before he got injured. That's that you're asking why? Because he actually showed me that he wasn't quite washed yet. It's a great matchup. Detroit really stinks, and
Alex Cora did say 4 innings.
Okay, 4 is not enough for me. I wouldn't play him then, and I wouldn't have said that if I thought that. But all right, Dean, go ahead, take the layup with Lance Lynn. I know what you're gonna do here.
Innings are weird because, like, you could throw 70 pitches in 4 innings. You can throw like 42 pitches in 4 innings. If he's cruising in 4 innings, he's going to take him out with those 40 pitches. I don't know. Keith in chat, by the way, says Cora said 4 innings, 60 to 70 pitches. So, yeah, if he's out. Okay, I'm not rostering him no matter what, just for the record. But I suppose he could get to 5 if he's super efficient. But maybe it's just a hardened set. Some managers, like, don't care about pitch counts. Like, you're not pitching any more than 4 innings, and that's that. But, all right, I'm not going to say Lynn. I'm going to throw him back to you. I don't know what TJ's doing with him. I feel like if he was going to play him, he'd play him hard. I don't think he's going to play him like at 15%. He might. So I feel like he's taking like a hard stand on it. But I could be wrong on this. But as of right now, I'm just going to pass. Show me your poker face, TJ. Move your hand. Stop blocking your face. Me and Chop want to be able to read you here. All right. Yeah, I got nothing. Well, what does crossing the arms mean, Chop? That means something. Is he leaning back or is he leaning forward? Is he feeling confident? You play poker, right, Chop? I'm sure.
Yeah. I remember when we had the poker night here, I absolutely dusted Crane. I just dusted him, man. I remember that much. But more reading his body language right now. I'm probably an expert, Dean, because I've been binging Suits on Netflix. So
I've not started that show. It looks like a big undertaking, and it's like
it's 8 seasons, and they're like 16 episodes a season. It is a lot, but they are good though. They're very good.
Got my Harvey Specter haircut.
Yeah,
I'm probably being unfair because I don't want to. I'm docking it because it's from USA. Like it was like an HBO show, and I would okay, let's give it a shot. But USA Network,
it gets a bit risque. It gets a bit risque with the language.
It falls off a little, I think, in the later seasons, but like early on, first 4 or 5 seasons, it's incredible television.
Robbie in chat says Suits is the best show. I know Stevie always talks about Suits as well. Maybe we'll give it a shot. I don't know, but all right, let's go back to the feud where you have 1x, Chop. I have 0. Let's see if I can stay perfect. I have a feeling that like I think TJ's likes this guy. I feel like TJ's recommended him several times. He's pretty cheap. I don't necessarily love him, but I'm just trying to read, what TJ's doing. I think he's going to have a little bit of Johan Oviedo.
Ding, ding, ding. Johan Oviedo.
Sell me on Johan Oviedo because I currently do not really have him in my pool tonight.
The Cincinnati Reds have the highest strikeout rate on the slate. That's it. Reds strike out 26.7% of the time against right-handed pitching. This lineup does. They have an extreme ballpark downgrade. Oviedo's not picking up very much ownership, and he's cheap.
Chop, you have an Oviedo take?
I was not considering him until just now. I guess I just saw the Reds on the matchup and said, it's not really
K's, though.
He brings the K's into it, and that makes me think so, yeah. Okay, I can see it now. Because you know what? The Reds have fallen off. That lineup for about a month there, now that I think about it, it was really good, and we feared it. But they are falling off. So, yeah, okay, I'm going to mark him down. I'm keeping him in the player pool.
Yeah, we love the skills for De La Cruz, but also strike out a fair bit, like a 31.4% so far this year versus righties. McLean, same deal, 31% against righties as far as Ks. Plenty of power. Votto swinging for power these days, 26% as far as the Ks. Encarnacio Strand striking out a lot. On the back end, you got Male, one of their instead of Stevenson, who's a better catcher. Male is no power, will strike out, doesn't take a walk. It's a pretty good spot for Oviedo. Oviedo's just he's a league average, I guess. I don't know. Well, what percentage do you have? Did you say, TJ, as far as your ownership on Johan?
So let's see. Go back to that. I have 28%. So like Sanchez is in 41 lineups, Oviedo's in 42, Scooball's in 42, Adon's in 43.
I saw somebody in chat ask, and maybe you can pull this up on the fly. How many of your lineups do you have two pitchers less than 7K? Probably several, I would say. It's probably a fair bit.
Yeah, I don't know the exact number, but it's several.
All right, Kirkwood in chat apparently
you can do that like combo summary of the stacks, but I don't think there's a way to see it with the pitchers.
See, Kirkwood apparently he likes Oviedo as well. Is that one of his conviction plays? Let's see. You can do the conviction plays. I know Steve's showing the people on chat. Let's see who else. He's got two pitchers we haven't. We've talked about Lance Lynn, and he likes Verlander as well. But all right, yeah, certainly. And Cheese Day Potts is on there. We've not mentioned Castillo. We'll talk about him. So we have 5 down, 2 to go. Is that right, TJ?
Yes.
Chop, you're gonna step on the Lynn grenade or what?
I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna take that right now. But I'll say that just I'm seeing the pattern here. And if this guy is not part of his pool, then the pattern has been blown up in our faces, Dean.
Yeah.
He's got to have, with the pattern he's showing, he's got to have some Kyle Gibson.
Ding, ding, ding. Kyle Gibson is in the pool. Oh. Massive strikeout team in the Seattle Mariners. Kyle Gibson's been playing some pretty good baseball lately. I got me some Kyle Gibson.
JP Crawford just placed in the IL, by the way. No Mariners lineup just yet, but Crawford will not be in it.
Strikeout bat out.
That's huge, Dean, because he was the runner-up in the BVP suggestion of the day today. He was the runner-up.
He was also TJ's second Spidey bomb because TJ always doing is just repackaging. He somehow cracked the code. He got access to your BVP model. And,
wow.
That's what I'm being told by Context Clues, right? You accused him the first time with Castellanos. He's not even being coy about it. Just, right out the gate, your BVP suggestion just happens to be his Spidey bomb. But was Crawford your second Spidey bomb, TJ? Cross him off the list now?
No, like I mentioned, Dean, I'm playing the pitcher against him.
People like to know about my season-long team. It's very important. Should I start Kyle Gibson on my season-long team? I'm kind of a 51-49, TJ. You think I should start him?
I think you should. Who's your other option?
You get 10 starts throughout the week. I have like 3 starts left. I don't know. Probably not great. It's important stuff. We're making a run in the RotoGrinders League. The people are excited. Hey, just to mention, by the way, if you guys are joining us now or as of 10 minutes ago and you're not aware, we're giving away a week free of RotoGrinders Premium. How are we doing that? Why are we doing that? We're doing it in the Discord channel go to RotoGrinders.com/Discord. Go into the live stream chat channel. Producer Steve has a message that just says, thumb this up, and you just drop the thumb. The thumb is just hit the button, and it'll add one more to the official counter. And in about 20, 25 minutes or so, Producer Steve's going to jump on. We're going to spin the wheel with your name on it. If your name gets drawn, you get yourself a week free of RG Premium. Not just baseball, by the way. You get all the tools, optimizer, all the goods, every sport you can think of with the exception of NASCAR. NASCAR is a la carte. It's all by itself. Okay, so do we have 6 down, 1 to go? TJ, is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, man. So here's the thing. So Lance Lynn, Justin Verlander, Luis Castillo, Corbin Burns, Blake Snell. You can't have more than one of those guys in your pool. And I'm fairly certain you don't have Burns. I'm fairly certain you don't have Blake Snell. Like you're not going to have Charlie Morton. You might have Luis Castillo. That's a maybe. You might have Verlander and you might have Lynn. You have one of those 3. You can tell me that, right? It's one of those 3, or is it all guys in the 6, 7? I think you have at least room for one of those pitchers in case. I think it's one of those 3 is in your pool. Can you give me that? Give me a head nod. Give me something.
You have no X's. Why would I give you anything?
Because, Steve Harvey would give me like a wink of some sort. I feel like,
wouldn't. Steve Harvey would tell you to stop cheating.
He's actively rooting against the contestants. Chop, who should we go with? Is it Lynn, Verlander, or Castillo? You think he's going to stick in the 7K area? I think he's spending up on one pitcher. Let's see what Chad has to say.
Lynn would fit the mold as far as what he's looking for tonight, price range and matchup wise. But my goodness, that's a big ownership, and he usually doesn't go with that kind of ownership. But he might just say, "Oh, Dean, wait, he did say might have to eat some chalk earlier in the show." He did.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Oh, he did say that, so we might have to go Lynn here, Dean.
Also, Hoosier Sang Banners is mentioning Abbott. We were talking about him in Discord earlier today. I don't think Abbott is one of TJ's plays. He's really interesting though because he's getting a great ballpark bump from a pitching perspective, and he's been pretty lucky as far as his fly balls. He's unleashed a lot of fly balls, and he's been protected at home run fly ball, and he can strike guys out too. So, and also Pittsburgh, the left field line for righty power is one of the worst left field lines in baseball. So, I like the Pittsburgh bats, but I'm afraid all their balls are going to be dying right in the warning track. But I think it's interesting for Abbott to bet on them and bet against them. I think both extremes are potentially in play. All right, that's
away from Spidey Bomb number 2. We got almost 400 people watching, so we should easily be able to get up to 150 likes, get 3 of those out here before the crunch time crew comes in.
I was looking for help in the chat. Derek's saying it's Snell. I'm almost like for sure confident it's not Snell. Snell he's too expensive and he walks everybody. And he walks that tightrope where like if he just gives up that one hit when he just walked those 3 guys, his whole night is blown up. And he also he's not efficient. He takes forever to throw 100 pitches in 5 or 6 innings. Like you can do it in tournaments, sure. We've definitely seen those games where he has 11 strikeouts, but I don't think it's Snell. So I'm just eliminating people. It's not Snell. It's possibly Castillo. It's possibly Verlander, and it's possibly Lynn. Come on, Chop. Which of the 3 is it?
Dean, I've already given you my 2 cents on this selection. You go with who you want now.
Okay. I'm going to say that it is. I'm going to say it's Lance Lynn. Yeah.
Oh,
we had that red right from the start and just blew it. So it's either Verlander or Castillo. We have 2 more X's. So it's got, unless there's like another 7K guy, but I don't think that's the case.
But we're here though, and we mentioned Lynn, and I don't know that. Yeah, I can't remember the last time I saw a pitcher on a 13-game slate who wasn't like a dominator at a great price tag. And we're thinking about maybe upwards of 40 to 50% owned. That's a huge number, So, but we need to talk about him, like what to do in GPPs and cash games and stuff. And since he's come over to the Dodgers, they've absolutely kind of straightened out whatever he was doing, and he's striking guys out. He's working into the game pretty deep, and more than anything tonight, you get Colorado on the road. Like that's a cheat code already. So
I would like to, for what it's worth, I agree 100% that like Lynn's the cash guy today. He's just, I can't play a pitcher that heavily owned in tournaments. He deserves to be the best projected option. There's so many other ones, but for what it's worth, I would like to remove your last X, not because I added Lynn to the pool, but because I'm removing Ross Stripling from the pool, dropping the pool down to 6. Yeah.
Ross Stripling was in your pool?
Yeah, he's 5.6K.
Oh, okay.
Why remove Stripling?
Dean, do you realize how many people you've said that about people in my pool lately, and every single time they've gone for like 20 plus points at a super low salary?
Every time you're 5K.
Why are we removing points? Why are
selective memory, sir?
I didn't have him in the pool, but why are you removing him?
Michael Dompier made a great point in chats about like, I just don't feel like I need this much salary savings of pitching today. And I don't think I need to go all the way down to Stripling. Those 7K guys, 6K guys are going to be enough. And if his pitch count was 90-ish, big park downgrade for Texas, I'd maybe take a shot. But it just, he doesn't really get up over 50. And so I don't really want to try one tough inning and he's going to be screwed.
Yeah. Like yesterday it could have been usable on like a 4-game slate, but today it doesn't seem, you need like 4 or 5, like really clean innings to get there. And I guess it's possible, but, and like you said, there's a bunch of guys you like that are 7K. So and those guys are cheap enough basically. Well, I'm curious, what do you put as far as restrictions for your salary? How much salary are you willing to leave when you're running out your lineups? You're optimizing.
When I do the optimizer, I leave it at 500 or less.
Okay. All right. Yes, it's probably you're going to be finding a lot of big bats, which you probably have a ton of bets and a ton of Acuna. I'm guessing. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. Okay. All right. Alex in chat says Stripling is just cashing checks these days. So yeah, the Lynn conversation. You'll get Carty in about 25 minutes or so, and Carty's going to tell you to play him in cash and probably tournaments as well. We'll see what he says. But cash, he is the highest projected player raw points at 8.9K on DK, which is weird because his ERA this season, if you care about such things like ERA, is 6.11, which is bad. But of course, he's facing the Rockies and he's been unlucky. His Sierra for the year is less than 4, a little more respectable at 3.9. He's just been unlucky as far as BABIP, unlucky as far as homer in the fly ball. So we shall see. And the K's have been pretty good, 26.8%. That Rockies team we know is terrible outside of course. And there's a couple interesting bats to attack them with. I know people are talking about playing Rockies, and I'm not going to fully stack the Rockies, but I might homer hunt against Lynn because especially the lefty power, like a guy like McMahon, is pretty interesting. But I can't see myself in the limited lineups I make running out a full Rockies stack. Chop, your thoughts as far as Castillo and Verlander? Like Castillo's getting 13% ownership. Oh no, that's on Fanduel. It's higher on DK. I knew it looked wrong. We're looking at 20% ownership on DK. By the way, Cedric Mullins should be back tonight for Baltimore. It's a little bit tougher as far as their lineup. He was activated off the IL, been gone for about a month or so. I think it was a groin, I believe. Verlander getting 23% against the Angels as well. Chop, your takes as far as Verlander and Castillo and compare him to Lynn, I suppose. And we acknowledge the presence of Corbin Burns, but not getting a ton of ownership. We're looking at 8% as of right now against the White Sox. Of course, he can have the most strikeouts on the slate. Wouldn't shock any of us, but he is pricey as well.
He's my favorite of the spend ups.
Yeah. Have you considered introducing 10 or 20%, or it's just you're committed to your strategy and that's that?
No, that my new build that I'm running right now, I just added in Burns and Snell, because they're both projected under 10%. And I wasn't going to do it with Snell. I really don't like targeting Arizona. I might still take him out. But Burns going up against a weak White Sox team without Luis Robert, I'm going to be firing them up today. I'm going to be firing up Burns today just because I think he should be able to mow down that team without their best hitter.
So we just played a tainted game is what you're saying. That whole thing, the entire 40 minutes of the show was fraudulent.
No, because you still didn't guess those guys anyways.
But you're pulling guys in and out. It's like when I used to play Hangman and I kept changing the word.
No, you got the top 6 and I just decided to add a 7 and 8.
Yeah, how convenient.
They're still on the survey. They're just 7 and 8.
So officially we get the W.
Sure, yeah, of course.
Okay. I didn't see any bells or whistles or balloons or nothing.
Well, you just kind of stopped playing afterwards, and it's time to move on to bats. But yeah, you guys were incredible today. You definitely got the dub.
Chop, I do want your thoughts as far as Lynn, Castillo, Verlander. What are you doing with them?
So I'm not going to include Lynn in this category. We kind of just talked about him on his own. I think the 4 stud pitchers, the elite guys, Castillo, Burns, Snell, and Verlander. I think out of those 4 guys, I probably favor Burns the most, and it's not just the ownership, which is just makes it a little bonus. But the White Sox, not a good lineup, and Burns pretty good, so I favor him more than the other guys. Snell scares me for the reasons you said. You're one hit away from like he can't redeem and get to where you need him to be at this salary. I favor Burns over Verlander because Verlander, for as good as I think he's going to do tonight, he still has this thing where I'm not stacking the Angels, wouldn't do it, but boy, they are a one-off candidate if I've ever seen it. Like he is a home run. He will give up a home run or 2 in this game. Just a matter of is anybody on base when they happen, because he just can't get himself away from giving up home runs. And then Castillo, I think, is good, but I haven't. Baltimore's. Do we have the lineup yet? Is Seti Mullins in there? Because that makes a difference.
He's batting 5th. Yeah, Rushman, Henderson, Santander, Hearn, Mullins, Mountcastle, Frazier, Urias, and Kauser.
They are a solid lineup, especially with him in there. Castillo, I mean, he has some good moments, but his domination really wasn't. He was way back early in the season, so for that reason, I would still favor Burns over him too. So I think the 4 guys, those 4 elite pitchers are fine. You can use them all, but I would rank them based on matchup, ownership, price. Burns, Castillo, Verlander, Snell.
Eric, I don't know what show you're listening to. I hate Burns, and he's chalk. We just talked about Burns being like 7, 8, 9, 10% or something like that. He's not going to be chalk. So don't play him if you hate him, but like if you want potential upside,
he says chalk.
Yeah, but 10% is not chalk.
No, I'm saying he says chalk.
Okay.
I don't know where they get the numbers from. I'm not the guy who does it, but anyway, what's the let me see, hold on.
What are you pulling up?
That Chicago White Sox lineup tonight. I just want to see what. Oh man. Oh yeah. Yeah, we're good. You fire up Burns. Their best hitter, their all-star hitter, their number 1 guy is not even in the lineup tonight. Yeah, he's injured, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Bob. Yeah.
So Thompson was traded back to the White Sox. Wasn't he originally on the White Sox? I feel like he was.
Right? That's an easy strikeout or 2 right there.
I feel like we haven't seen him in a while, but yeah, 38% strikeouts. Tough. That's a tough landing spot for him for sure. Anderson's been terrible across the board. Benintendi's offers nothing. A little bit of contact, sure. Eloy, there's some power, whatever. I'm going to get more than the field on Burns. Colas there strikes out a fair bit, and Elvis is a contact guy, but there's no pop in that bat, obviously. There's not a lot going on with that White Sox lineup. I'm going to make sure that Burns is going to be at least in some of my lineups. Going to talk about stacks in just a second. We're going to be giving away that 1 week free of RG Premium as well in the Discord channel, RotoGrinders.com/Discord, and to the live stream chat channel. But before we do all that, do want to shout out Stat Hero. Stat Hero is a unique fantasy sports platform. You know it, you love it. It allows users to compete against the house instead of other players. You're not competing against TJ. You're not competing against those people hanging out in chat or Chopper. The Searing 20 contest for MLB Pick'em that is still going on. Free-to-play contest. Win to start your streak. Keep your streak alive by playing each day. Build your streak. Win prizes with consecutive wins, including swag, RG Premium, and cash prizes. The cash prize, $20,000 first prize for the Searing 20. Going to get you started with a nice sweet deposit bonus. That will be promo code GRINDERS, GRINDERS, 50% deposit bonus, up to $250. Jump into the action today at Stat Hero. Again, Grinders, 50% deposit bonus. My computer, my Mac, always thinks whenever I say Searing, I'm saying Siri. So now it starts going to voice, and it just every word I'm saying is popping up on my screen, and it's screwing me up a little bit. All right, today's stacks. Like I said before, really, really interesting how condensed it is as far as our top stacks, the rankings. There are 26 teams playing tonight. Myself, Kirkwood, STL, Dave Potts, Cheeseisgood. He'll be on in 15, 20 minutes. we rank our top 5, our favorite 5 stacks, and only 6 teams made an appearance. So it's really condensed. Atlanta number 1, no surprise. Atlanta, St. Louis, Dodgers, Kansas City Royals, Philadelphia, and Milwaukee. A little bit of Milwaukee love there from Kirkwood. TJ, you tell me, how do you feel about that board? I mean, I think you kind of made it clear throughout the show. You're clearing all the funds for salary cap purposes to unleash the Dodgers and unleash the Braves. And then, St. Louis and Kansas City, one of the bigger totals on the board. In KC, good weather there too. Not the best lineups, but good pitchers to pick on. Wainwright still pitching these days, and Kansas City with an opener. And the long man not looking spectacular. TJ, give me your assessment as far as today's top stacks. What are we kicking off? What are we moving up? What are we moving down? How do we feel about this board?
So to be honest, I missed the board because I just randomly got enamored by realizing that we're also streaming on Twitch right now, which I totally didn't realize. It's not just YouTube.
What's
we're
on
on
Twitch
too. And so I started just chatting in the Twitch chat, and me and Steve are having a nice little conversation in there. But anyways, my top stacks today, I got kind of 3 in my top tier that I'm looking to get to a lot of, and it's the Dodgers, it's the Braves, and it's the Kansas City Royals. Because I don't care if it's the Royals, Adam Wainwright is the biggest bump in baseball this year. It's bigger than Coors Field. It's bigger than anything. It's the Adam Wainwright bump. And so I'm getting to as much Royals as I can. And then the Dodgers as well as the Braves are the next in that tier for me. I'm also getting to a lot of St. Louis, a little bit of Pittsburgh, Philadelphia. And then I also really like the Padres, Rangers, and Milwaukee. And Houston. I got to get more Houston here. I got to adjust this.
Was that like 12 teams? I was trying to count in my head. About, give or take, maybe half the teams you're really prioritizing?
Yeah. I'd say there's about 8 teams I'm really prioritizing tonight.
What do they give? What's the thing on Twitch? Forgive me. I don't use Twitch. I feel like you probably do with your Agents of Phantom stuff.
Yeah.
Is that right, TJ, or no?
Yeah. I was live on Twitch last night, actually.
Okay, what it's like bits? What is their thing called? What's the?
Yeah.
Is that that's a thing over there, right?
Yeah.
I know I sound like such a boomer. I have no idea. Chop, you a big Twitch guy?
No, Dean. No. You know they
drop in.
I used Twitch here a few years ago. I guess a couple years ago. I forget what the deal was. I guess maybe streaming games. I was watching. What was it? The CPC when we were in the poker chat, and they were doing the games. So I signed up for it then, but I haven't really had any reason to go back to Twitch lately. So no, I don't use Twitch anymore.
All right. Well, welcome. I don't know if this is our first debut on there. We're just kind of aware of it just now, but
no, I think I just noticed it for the first time today. It's probably always been happening.
I feel like we've probably been around for a while. We're just not aware of it. Chop, talking about as far as your favorite stacks here, and again, about 5 minutes or so, we're bringing producer Steve on. Going to give away a week free of RG Premium. I ran up the stacks for you. I dropped, in case you missed it, Chop, you know where to find the rankings as far as our favorite stacks. I put it in our little chat here as well. What is your assessment? Who are you prioritizing? You're running at 150. How condensed is your pool? Is there one team you're just saying, like, look, I want a ton of stacks. I want to be well with the field on this team. What's your assessment?
This is going to be a tough one, Dean, because usually what I like to do with my stacks is I don't mind on a slate like this spreading it around, and having plenty of stacks. And then you don't even have to have that 4-man stack, like go nuclear. You just have to, if they just hold their end of the bargain and then another stack or your other 4 guys does well, there's a lot going on there. But tonight, I feel like I want to condense it because the 5 that you mentioned, or the top 5 of the rankings, are the 5 I have: Atlanta, St. Louis, LA, Philly, KC, in that order. And then there's not a whole lot. There's a few teams after that are okay. I think San Diego, specifically their right-handers in this lineup tonight, I'm going to like. Milwaukee, specifically the right-handers, not necessarily the left-handers as much, but the right-handers. And Houston is, they're okay. They're getting better with their lineup. It could be even better if Dusty figured it out, but Toronto's in the mix. But those top 5 and then those 2 with the right-handed heavy lineups that I want to get into, I'm going to probably condense it more than I usually do on a 13-game slate. That's for sure.
Producer Devin said we've been on Twitch for several months now, so there you go. Shout out to Twitch one last time. We're hit the follow over there. Like, follow, subscribe, whatever you got to do. Keep the lights on. You mentioned the Padres, Chop, and again, we referenced the gutless power rankings. Like for the season, they've been on the Family Feud board for gutless without question. There's some infighting going on there, but there still is some talent in that, in that lineup, and nobody's really going to play him. Locked in for 9 against Ryan Nelson, who's not spectacular. It's just an interesting team on a 13-game slate. It's just going to be completely lost. No lineup just yet, but I assume we'll get the standard regulars. TJ, did you mention the Padres? I think you ran off a bunch of teams. Are they in that grouping you said?
They're kind of in my tier 2. They're not on my list of top teams, but they're definitely going to be a team that I'm getting to in tournaments today. It is time for Spidey Bomb number 2. Let's get me 30 more likes so we can get up to 150, so I can give away a third Spidey Bomb today. But Spidey Bomb number 2, you can get him for plus 600 over on FanDuel. It is Michael Massey.
I like it. Massey in that game in Kansas City, I believe it's the total is 11 the last we saw, if I'm not mistaken. Has it since changed? Was it 10.5 or 11? It is officially 11. Wainwright versus the combination of Coleman and Zerpa. Massey in the 3-hole, pretty cheap. On FanDuel, the Cardinals are pretty cheap. You're getting Goldie cheaper than he typically is. Arenado as well. O'Neill is super cheap as a punt. Somebody needs a refill. I think that was just Ice Cube shuffling around. Chop.
It's me trying to get your attention, Dean.
Oh, what's going on? It's like a cowbell?
It's actually the DraftKings Yeti. These things are fantastic. They keep the cold cold and the hot hot for hours at a time. They're really good stuff.
Oh, yeah. I'm sold.
Yeah, all right. And I just want to drive since he gave his Spidey Bomb number 2. I might as well go ahead and give the knockers now, Dean, the Choppers knockers.
Let's do it
while we're on it, man. So, unlike the last show where we were at the 2-3 spot, so the knockers were condensed, squeezed in there together, back to back. Today's knockers are a bit more spread out. Like they're kind of, I'm going 1 hole, 4 hole. A little bit spread out here. You see what I'm saying? Not quite tight together, but I'm going Lars Nootbaar, Nolan Gorman, Dean.
I was going to guess. I was looking who's 1-4. I had like 3 seconds and I couldn't quite get
there.
There's
no way you would have guessed that one.
I was right there when you said 1-4. And I started staring at it.
I was off that's off the reservation right there, Dean, but
not really.
Let's get it. I like them.
Talked about them being the highest total game on the board.
Let's get it. They're awesome. Awesome, Dean. Let's knock them in. tonight.
Have you given
Norman Gorman, huh? We got to get some of him. He was good, or he was an MVP candidate. STL told me he was an MVP candidate about 3 months ago.
First of all, it's not Norman, it's Nolan. You could stack the Nolans, by the way. You could have done that with knockers, as the 3-4 Nolan, the combination platter of Nolan Arenado and Nolan Gorman. But yeah, I like that as well. I'll give the dongs in a second. Triple G's, have you unleashed that just yet? I'm not sure if you've had.
No, we need some. We need some more likes. I can't. First of all, I can't do the Triple G till I get a Spidey Bomb because Triple G doesn't make an appearance until Spider-Man does.
He's been doing them throughout the show. Have you not been paying attention?
I need the third one, Dean. I can't just do all my bits at one time. I gotta. Jesus, man, what the hell, dude?
Need 20 more likes for the third Spidey Bomb and for the Triple G play of the day.
We're going to spin a wheel.
Suggestion of the day.
Suggestion of the day, of course. That's my bad.
Chop, you also have a guarantee if we get like 1,000. That's one of the other.
Yeah. Well, how many likes do we have right now?
Not 1,000. Not yet.
I know it's not 1,000 yet, but what are we at, Dean? Can you tell me that?
I can. We are at let's see, 138 looks like.
Oh, we are climbing. All right, I'm gonna make it easier today for you guys. I got my ISO, weighted on base, OPS, and WRC plus all lined up. It's all lining up to one guy with a great matchup and a high team total and great splits. I have a guy who's a guarantee.
What?
A guarantee. Either multiple extra base hits or a home run. I guarantee, those are rare to get the guarantees. I'm going to need only 1,400 likes today to get it.
Yeah.
If you climb me up to 1,400 likes, I will give away the guarantee.
Chop, could I just slide in your DM just in case in the off chance we don't get the 1,400? Would you let me, as a friend, I feel like we're at that level. Would you let me know as a personal favor who this guarantee is?
Tell you what, do you message me after the show?
Yeah.
Yeah, message me, brother, all you want.
All right. I'm going to hold you to that.
I mean, I'm not saying
you can't hold him to anything. He didn't say he'd tell you. He just
said I didn't say I'd respond to you, but you can message me all you want.
Well, you're just gonna drag me along and give me some false hope.
We got 150 likes, so that means it's time for Spidey Bomb number 3, and you can find him for plus 440 on FanDuel, 480 on Caesars. It's Ryan McMahon going up against the Chalky Lance.
He was doing my dong. Unbelievable.
He should have been quicker.
Oh, I should have unleashed it a little bit. Yeah, well, all right.
We got to go unleash your dong a little bit earlier.
Yeah, we shall seamlessly work in the producer Steve and spinning the wheel. Steve, we're giving away a week free of RG Premium. My favorite part of this segment, not just for hooking up people, with RG Premium, is the music. I always enjoy the music. Feel free to dance at your own leisure if nobody's watching. Steve, what's up?
I don't know if we have good music today. Oh. And for the spin, some of these people's names in Discord weren't entered because they didn't follow the rules, like TJ said.
You are a tyrant. Are you serious? Oh my God! Firm but fair. The rules are pretty clear.
We got to do it. All right, ready, everyone? Here we go. I'm going to go blue.
I got green.
Yellow.
Chops red.
TJ still like green. Of course it's green. I knew it. Go blue. Stop the burn. There it is. Nobody wins.
I think I said blue.
You said blue?
Yeah, Gopher Span. Let's shoot you a message over in the Discord.
Good job, Gopher
Congratulations. Span. Week free of RG Premium. We do this, like weekly or so, Steve? Steve just
we try and do it every Friday. And sometimes we'll get Wednesday in there as well.
All right. 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes, depending on when crunch time knocks on the door. The rest of the time is the chats, whatever's in your mind. Feel free to throw it out there. Ask some questions regarding the slate. Give us the details. Let us know if you're playing on FanDuel, if you're playing on DraftKings, you're playing in single entry contests, large field, whatever it may be. Happy to answer as many until we yield to the crunch time crew. You got Dave Potts, 2-time millionaire winner. You have Kevin Roth, chief meteorologist Roth. Double check. I want to make sure that weather is still good. It was when before we went on the show. Yeah, it seems like yellow-green currently in Kansas City. It was a little bit dicey earlier today. I'll go ahead and drop this in chat. And you have DerekCarty, the CEO of the Bats and the Blitz. The Blitz.
We got to bump the likes up again because we're over 500 people now. So not only would I give another Spidey Bomb at 200, but Kirk Dees is in chat saying 200 likes and he'll give his best UFC bet for tomorrow.
I'm told he's on fire, and I'm told he's actually going to be. He's actually mentioned it. He's going to be in the building, so he's got extra pressure on himself. So he's going to get this right. He's locked in, and he's done really well. Just hearing his picks, I know he's done well from UFC. So you're going to want his UFC picks as well. And I'm going to give. I got to come up with a dog on the fly. I'll tell you what. I'm going to pick. I don't know which one is going to do it, but one of these two Pirates are going to homer off of Andrew Abbott. We're going to go. What? Why are you upset? You're going to pick a Pirate?
Make a stand. Pick one. Don't say one of these two. How is somebody
Says the guy with 9 Spidey Bombs. You're telling me to take a stand.
How is somebody going to go and make a bet and go, I'd like to bet on one of these two to hit a home run?
Okay, for starters, how many players have you wagered on today did a home run?
Me?
Yeah.
I bet on 9 different players.
Oh, you couldn't just pick one? Just put it all in the one guy and that's that?
I didn't say I'm going to bet on 4 of these 9 players. I said I'm betting on all 9.
And you have 19 Spidey Bombs and like 3 hit, and then Spidey Bombs. Spidey's never wrong.
Yeah, but it's not about whether or not I'm making the call. I'm taking the stand. I'm not saying one of 2 of these guys. Somebody on the slate will get a home run. That's our Spidey Bomb.
If I say now, Brian Hayes, that's taking a stand because I say him at different times. Now I know the rules. Okay.
You can say both or neither. You can't say they might.
All right. Oh man. I was gonna now I might pivot to Connor Joe. He smashes righties as well. Left. All right, lefties. So I'm gonna go with Brian Hayes and Brian Reynolds. What I can't promise you which one, but one of them's gonna homer. How about that? That's not good enough for you? 1 or 2? TJ? No?
You can I'd go with Joe if I were you.
Yeah, well, if you get cut more likes, maybe he could be a Spidey Bomb. I don't know who you have on deck.
My pool of Spidey Bombs is strictly people I bet on.
Big Show Brandon wants to know, Chop, if you're good. You good, Chop? Are you flustered over there? You're kind of enjoying myself and TJ having a nice little conversation? We good?
Yeah, you knock it out. I don't get, I get paid by the hour, not by the word. So I can stay quiet if I want to.
It would be probably do not negotiate, pay by the word. Just as your pseudo lawyer, I would not suggest that going forward. Let's see. We have a question in chat. Chop, you answer this one because you know TJ's thoughts on this already. Basically, Paul wants to know your favorite pitcher in DK 7K to 8K. 7 to 8K, your favorite pitcher.
7 to 8. Well, there's some good ones down there, but I'm going to say tonight, I'm going to say Christopher Sanchez. He's got some competition tonight. Gibson, Scooble, some of the other guys, but I'm going to say Sanchez. Just basically, I like what I've seen from the kid in Minnesota. They stink.
TJ, same question. We'll ask TJ as well.
I think I don't know. It's tough. I kind of like all of them so similarly. That's why I'm placing a bunch of them in the same bucket. But I guess if you have the full salary to go all the way up, I'd maybe go Kyle Gibson.
Well, Mariners lineup is out. Rodriguez leading off. Rodriguez, Suarez, the big dumper, Kyle Raleigh, Hernandez, France, Canzone, Marlowe, Moore, and Rojas. For the Dodgers, you got Betts, Freeman, Will Smith, Rosario, Hernandez, Outman, Taylor, Peralta, Rojas. Usual rules apply with the Dodgers. We saw it again last night. When a righty comes in, certain players may be vulnerable to the hook. There are some lefties lurking on that bench. Padres out as well. Cam, Tatis, Soto, Machado, Bogarts, Cronenworth, Choi, Sanchez, and Grisham. TJ, who's the one player, one stack, one something, one anything you're most afraid of not having enough of tonight?
It was Corbin Burns before I just mixed him into the pool there. So now I will go with the same answer I threw on the expert survey today. I'm going to go with Luis Castillo.
Chop, same question?
I mean, it's got to be Atlanta. It's got to be. Like, I don't know. What's that?
You don't have much Atlanta?
It doesn't matter. I mean, you'd have to, if they do what Atlanta does in a matchup like this, you'd have to have them locked in to finishing anywhere near it because they're going to be popular and they just have this ability. Unlike any other team right now, their lineup has this ability to absolutely destroy a GPP with what they can do. And so I fear that, unless you got them locked in and with 150 lineups, I'm not going to lock in one stack. So, unless you got them locked in, they could destroy your entire night real quick.
Michael Harris, Dean Dong. I'm taking a stand because I'm only saying one person in this particular part of the show. So that's a Dean Dong, Michael Harris.
Good Dean Dong.
Can I do a triple G since we already gave out the Spidey?
Yeah, go for it. We've been begging for it all show. Yeah, give it to people.
I mean, when the man gave the third Spidey bomb, that's when you should have said, and how are we going to counteract that with triple G? Can I get the triple G graphic? No, not the ding dong. Here we go. My triple G, Dean. Not necessarily a home run. I just want a guy to do some things. Just do some things. Get on base and do whatever. Just rack up some points. I'm going with the little hangover. Zach Geloff.
Oh, there it is. Little Galifianakis.
Little Galifianakis. Geloff. The little hangover.
I like Jordan Diaz, by the way, as a cheapie for Oakland. If you're looking for some cheapies, Seth Brown's pretty cheap, but Diaz at 2.5 is somebody that can make some stuff work if you're really pinched for pennies. A 3v3 for cash. Really, really tough question here, TJ. I'm going to give it to you. Brendan wants to know. It's a pitcher and two hitters. DK cash, TJ. Verlander and a couple of Padres. A couple of Cardinals. Verlander to never mind. One Padre.
Verlander, Tatis, and O'Neill. It's the first one. Those are just all. I like the other one a lot better for tournaments, but for cash, all of those guys are going to be higher owned. They project better, so it's that first one.
Chop, you like John Gray tonight against the Giants for strikeouts? Daryl's asking.
No.
Gray's kind of been sputtering.
Yeah. He's kind of lost his fastball. I mean, not literally, probably literally, but
and metaphorically, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really. He was a ball of fire to start the year, but after that, since he's come back from that injury, he hadn't been the same guy. So Nah, he's not playing any props or any John Gray tonight.
Let's see. Duke is asking about Johan Adon for tournaments. Yeah, he's certainly in play. I think TJ, you had a fair bit of him. Was he the top 3 as far as your roster ownership? Adon, yes.
In my last build, he wasn't, but the difference between 2 and 6 is like 1 or 2 lineups.
Last peak here, yeah, Lance Lynn, by the way, has worked his way up in the ownership now to 40% ownership. That's for large field. For single entry stuff, it's going to be even higher. Man, Lance Lynn, like he could throw 115 pitches and theoretically go like 7, 8, 9 innings if things are going perfectly well for him against this terrible Colorado team. But we've also seen him get his face punched in several times. 23% for Verlander. We got 17, 18% for Castillo. Sanchez at 13. Blackburn at 13. I guess, I mean, I'm surprised. I thought it was going to be higher than that. Oviedo 12, Burns 12. So Burns has kind of worked his way up as well, probably into a part to that Chicago White Sox lineup, which looks pretty putrid, worse than typically we get the absence of Robert. We should be getting Roth on momentarily. There it is, right on cue. Look at that.
Hey there.
Roth and Dave Potts, as well as DerekCarty. That's what was happening. Like producer Steve's like, should I throw him on? Should I not throw him on? Carty's still getting the hair done.
Yeah.
Let's have Dave and Roth kill a few minutes, and Carty will jump on in a couple minutes, and it'll be perfectly fine. What's up, Roth? Welcome to Friday. How are things in your world?
I'm good. I really, really enjoyed the Dean Stong segment. That's a good one, man. That's a good little bit. I approve.
There you go. And you missed out. Did you watch the Knockers? I don't know when you joined the show, but Chop unleashed those as well.
I'm a longtime fan of the Choppers Knockers. You can't go wrong with that. When he starts describing the Knockers, it is about as good as a YouTube stream can get.
There you go. And let's not ignore TJ and his Spidey bombs. All sorts of homers being unleashed. Certainly Dave's favorite segment. He loves giving bold proclamations as far as, well, this guy's definitely going to homer. Like, of course, that's just how this works. There's Carty as well. What's up, Dave? How's Friday? Welcome to Friday.
Yeah, Friday is fine. The girls are gone, so I'm on boomer duty this weekend. So Kevin, you should come over and help me with boomer duty.
I love your horse. I do. Yeah. He has an actual horse, to be clear.
I went out and threw some food at him right before the show, and I got to go after and let him out. It was too rainy to let him out. I get very specific instructions.
You have to let your horse out as if it's a dog. You have to let him out.
Well, he's in a stall, and he wants to go out into his field for the night to eat his grass all night.
Makes sense. All right.
Does he have like a stable, like that's next to the house, or is it like you got to go miles away to find Boomer?
Yeah, we got to go somewhere else. We don't. He doesn't live here at the house. It's about 15 minutes away. That's
still pretty awesome to have a horse. We got anything else? We got to step aside and make way for crunch time. We have TJ. We have Chop. You guys got anything else to the boys before we step aside and get out of here?
No, let's do it. Let's let them take it away.
That was Chopper. That was TJ. The Fanduel sponsor of Crunch Time. It starts now. Kevin Roth, take it away.
Let's do it. Welcome to it, ladies and gentlemen. This is Crunch Time. This show is sponsored by Fanduel. It's the show where we bring on two of the sharpest minds in the biz. We got Dave Potts, Cheese is Good. And as Mr. Donk says, Carty v. Cheese. I love when they disagree. We don't know. We don't know if there's going to be agreeing, disagreeing. We'll find out as the show goes on. Cheese, you feeling good, man?
Yeah, it's a wonderful slate. Like we have these 13 gamers. There's so many ways to go. It's we have just a very little bit of chalk, mostly on the pitching side, and then you just go all over the place and make fantastic lineups.
Okay, very good. We have Carty as well. We got DerekCarty, the inventor, creator, CEO of the Bat and the BatX Enterprises. What up, Carty?
Not much. How's it going?
It's good. Is the Bat, or rather the Blitz, out? Did I see a tweet about maybe pre-sale or something, or am I making that up?
Nope, that is for real. The Blitz is available for pre-sale now. It's gonna be good.
Okay. Why would I buy it now? Why pre-sale as opposed to just normal sale?
Because you're excited.
Oh, you were supposed to say something like you get $20 off. I thought there was going to be something there. No. All right.
I mean, every year I get people saying, Carty, you got to raise the price. You got to raise the price. It's too cheap. Like people who buy the system actually want the price higher, which is just crazy. So, I mean, honestly, I try to keep it as low as I can. I try to make it as accessible as I can to as many people. So we don't really do a lot of discounts or early birds or anything, but it is out there. It is very reasonably priced. It is very good. You do get season-long projections if you're doing season-long fantasy or best ball or something with it. So, if you go in early, you can get access to that.
There's your pitch. There's your early pitch. There you have it. Locked in. All right. Make sure you're checking that out. Of course, if you're following the bat, it's the football equivalent of that. It's the blitz. Make sure you check it out. Hey, guess what? I thought we were going to have weather concerns this morning, or at least I thought there was a chance. And now I'm not only like removing the chance of weather concerns, I freaking love the weather in Kansas City. I absolutely want to stack. I don't know, Cheese, what side of that game is the side we want for bats? Because I want.
Oh, it's glorious because like both sides of that game are near the top for bats. So like I was going to play it unless you said there's 100% cancellation. I was playing bats there anyway.
Yeah, and it didn't look likely to be a massive issue, but that's irrelevant because it's not an issue at all. I think it's unlikely to even see a delay, and I am increasingly likely wanting to get on the over now that I know both teams can hit because the weather is just phenomenal there.
It's more that both teams can't pitch, but yes, same difference.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, there are a few little housekeeping notes that I have to get into before we, fully dive into things. Chief amongst those is this show is sponsored by FanDuel. Did I mention that? If I didn't, I should have. Make sure you sign up for the FanDuel Sportsbook if you're in the sports betting state. New users take advantage of. I tried stalling so hard to get this read up, and then I had to re-sign in. Hang on, hang with me. It's coming. It's coming. No, oh God, it's loading so slow. We'll get into that in a little bit. In the meantime, Cheese, let's talk about pitchers.
Yeah. So
did my mic do the weird thing when I did the read?
Yeah, something sounds funny. Like something's like. I was wondering if it was me. It sounds like a little short almost. But
every time I do the sponsor read, that happens. I get excited.
Well, I still hear it. Like when you talk, it's kind of a little.
But, yeah, I thought it might have been my internet, but I hear it too.
That's what I was thinking too. So okay, right. I think I want to let Carty go first for pitchers because we do kind of have like some best plays that I think it's better if he just gives you the cash game plays, and then because my takes are a little more tournament based, but there are correct plays, so I think it's better if he just tells you what those are.
Yeah, I mean it's fairly obvious. The best pitcher on the slate is Lance Lynn. By a mile, you're playing him in cash on both sites, no matter what. He's good. I know his ERA doesn't look good this year, but his peripherals are still fantastic. He's getting great run support from the Dodgers now. He's facing the Rockies, who are terrible. They're the most strikeout-heavy offense on the slate. They're away from Coors Field. He has a super long leash. Like there's no reason not to play Lance Lynn here. So play Lance Lynn in cash. On DK, where you need to pair him with somebody, kind of the next tier of guys is Luis Castillo and Justin Verlander. I think you're fine to pair him with either one of those guys. I don't think either one is like, knock your socks off amazing, but I think they're both good. And after that, it's a pretty significant drop off to a tier of like, I don't know, 10 guys that all project within a couple points of each other. And I'm sure that's where we're going to get some takes from Cheese. The ones, honestly, because they're all so close, my take is play the cheaper ones. Play Kyle Gibson, play Johan Oviedo, play Jonah Don, play Russ Stripling. Like that's kind of my take here. Or spend up. You can spend on like a Burns or a Snell or something, even though they're not in great spots. But I think personally, I'd rather just play the cheap guys than one of the expensive ones with them.
Okay. Hopefully my mic is a little bit better now. Thumbs up, thumbs down. We okay? Still not great.
Actually, the same. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's okay. I mean, we'll do more of the talking anyway, so it's okay.
That's true. I'll just keep my mouth shut. Geez, go for it.
Yeah. So yeah, the Lance Lynn thing, I think, is kind of the big decision point on this whole slate. Like I think he's the only thing on either side that's going to be chalk. And I don't disagree at all with him being the best pitcher. Like this Colorado team is nonsense. And Lynn really is way better than the ERA suggests. So, but again, like on a slate where we had 26 pitchers and 26 offenses, and like half of them at least are playable on both sides, I I'm not thrilled about playing the one thing that's chalk out of all of it in tournaments. So I think what I'm doing more of is kind of what Carty just said: one expensive pitcher and one cheap pitcher. On let me do FanDuel first. The Jonah Don salary is like such its own decision point, because like the air quotes cheap pitchers on FanDuel besides him are like $9,000. So like the Oviedo, Skubal, Sanchez, Blackburn are not really cheap on FanDuel, and Jonah Don is $5,500, which is crazy. Like you can do the 1 through 4 Braves or the top Dodgers and all of that. So I do have him on FanDuel begrudgingly. Like I hate playing a guy like that on FanDuel, but it's like it's a $4,000 difference between him and the other air quote cheap pitchers. So I'm mostly him. I have a little Blackburn, but otherwise I'm trying to get Castillo and Burns, just because even on FanDuel with a smaller price difference, they'll just be lower owned than Lynn. And those are the guys that could beat him even if Lynn has a good game. On DK, my preference is to go up to one of Castillo and Burns. And Burns is like overpriced comparatively to the field. Like I don't think he's a fantastic play at 11-2, but that's exactly why I'm playing him. Like if everything goes great, then you just need some cheap bats to beat expensive bats. Like that's the trade-off. But I definitely prefer Castillo. Like I like Castillo better straight up, and he's $1,200 cheaper. So most of my lineups are Castillo, or I'm still playing Lynn and Verlander with one of those cheap guys. Carty mentioned most of the names. The ones I like Blackburn the best, Christopher Sanchez second, Kyle Gibson third. I didn't end up playing Oviedo, but I have no issue with that either. Jonah Don is also playable on DK, though I think I may have one, but I pretty much left him for FanDuel as well. So basically we're not that different on anything, except you have to play Lance Lynn in cash, and you don't have to play him in tournaments. But if you have a weird offense, like if you have an offense that you're certain nobody else has anything close to, then just play Lynn.
Yeah,
that's what I would say.
Did get a few people asking about Snell. Any Snell exposure?
So the Blake Snell rule, yes. If you are an MME player, you always play Blake Snell and you always stack against Blake Snell. Like that's just what this game is. I definitely have way more Arizona stacks against him by far.
Okay.
I mean, he's in that place in the world of Snell where he has no idea even vaguely what direction the plate is. Like he thinks it's in front of him, but then he turns sideways and thinks it's over there. Like he's walking so many guys, it's crazy. Yeah. So yes, always play a couple if you're doing MME, but essentially no.
Okay, very good. Well, let's flip the conversation and start talking about the stacks, Cheese.
Yeah, so many stacks. I do like the Royals the best, just based on salary and how horrendous Adam Wainwright is. I can't believe this guy's still pitching. And like I'm rooting for him. I want it to happen, but it's not. He's the worst. He is the worst. So Royals for the salary. And I do think if there's going to be a popular team, it will probably be at least Witt, Perez, and Michael Massey. Like that little trio, I think will be pretty popular. I like the St. Louis side a lot. If salary is no issue, the Dodgers and the Braves are my two favorite teams. But they are pricey. And I don't actually love the Dodgers past the top three. It's like I love Betts, Freeman, Smith. But then it's all just kind of the second half of the Braves lineup is more interesting than the Dodgers. So I'm a little more Dodgers mini stacking. Brewers are pretty high on my list. Pirates, almost everybody. But that's what stands out to me.
Okay, great. Carty, what say you and the bat in the stack department?
Yeah, I think the Braves are the top stack. I like them more than I like the Dodgers. I think the Padres are also up there as like if you have the money to do this, they're really, really good today, but they're expensive. I like both sides of that KC game, especially the Cardinal side for me. And I like the Brewers a lot. as a way to save money. They're going into the best home run park in baseball. The weather there is every bit as good as in KC. They're facing Kopech, who gives up 1 billion fly balls and home runs and has control issues and everything else. So I like the Brewers a lot. And there's another handful of teams that are really good today, and ownership's going to be pretty spread. So you can play the Blue Jays, you can play the Astros, you can do any of that. You can play the Phillies.
Okay. I want to go around the horn, but I have to get my read in, or else we're all going to get fired and the show won't be free anymore. Hopefully the mic holds up. Make sure you sign up for the Fanduel Sportsbook if you're in a legal sports betting state. Take advantage of their awesome bonus offer. If you are in Tennessee, Arizona, Colorado, or Illinois, you can bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets. If you're in Washington, West Virginia, Indiana, Iowa, and all other legal sports betting states, you can get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. Terms and conditions do apply. Big shout out to our sponsor, FanDuel. It's a little thumbs up for keeping the show free. With that, I think we go around the horn. Carty, you want to start us off with some catcher talk?
Sure. So, catcher tonight. There's kind of a top tier. It's Will Smith and the brothers Contreras. They all project basically the same. But for whatever reason, Wilson Contreras is 1.5K cheaper than William and Will Smith. And that's just stupid because he's every bit of as good of a hitter as they are. And he's in this good weather in KC. It's a good matchup. You're playing Contreras in cash. That's my take. In GPPs, you can definitely play the other Contreras, William for the Brewers, in GPPs as a one-off. In those Brewer stacks that I like, you can one-off Will Smith. Salvi, I think people will be on, but he's good and kind of underpriced. And yeah, I mean, if you want to go cheap, you can play a guy like Shea Langelier. You can play Ryan Jeffers, but I mean, Wilson Contreras is just so absurdly underpriced today.
Okay, excellent Langelier pronunciation, by the way. Cheese, are we going Contreras? Contreras or Contrarian?
So if you're going cheaper at pitcher, I mean, I love Will Smith and the Brewers Contreras. They are. Yeah, I totally agree. Just play, the Wilson version, the St. Louis Contreras in cash. But I love spending up if you can, and I love Sal Perez. And those four are kind of just their own tier for me. Real Muto, of course, playable. But if I'm spending $5K, I would rather play Smith or Contreras. And then, yeah, like Jeffers or Langelier as the cheap guys.
First base.
Matt Olson is one of my two favorite overall plays on the slate. Very expensive, as he should be. On FanDuel, I don't know why Goldschmidt's only 3,400 and Vlad's only 32. I would just go there in cash. And because of those prices, you don't really need to dumpster dive on FanDuel. Whereas DK, you can make a case for like a Seth Brown or a Brandon Belt or something cheap because it's a ginormous difference between the Olsons and even the Goldschmidts and Vlads and those guys. So it's mostly all the way up or all the way down for me outside of stacks.
Carty, do you have anything you'd like to add other than trashing me in the private chat as you're doing right now, or no?
You gotta do what you gotta
do. What do we like at first base?
Basically the same thing as Cheese, all the way up or all the way down. Vlad is the one that I like on DK the most. Goldie's the one that I like on FanDuel the most. If you go down, I think I'd also throw Jordan Diaz for Oakland into the mix, but I mean, basically what she said.
Yeah. All right. Second base.
Mookie Betts is the top guy. He's super expensive. You're not getting up to him in cash, most likely. But he's great. One-off Dodger stacks. Altuve, kind of same deal. Good stolen base spot, but kind of pricey. You have Albies for those Brave stacks if you can afford those. And after that, you're probably finding a way to save money. Because I don't think you're prioritizing the top guys tonight. Like, I'd rather go down to, Cheese mentioned him earlier, Michael Massey for Kansas City. He's hitting third. He's against Wainwright. We got this great weather. He's got platoon advantage. He's 3K on DraftKings. He's 2.4 on FanDuel. Like, he's probably just the guy that you're playing. On FanDuel, I think you can also make a case kind of in that mid-range for guys like Story, Ketel Marte, Ha-Sung Kim. But if you're not spending up for like a Betts or Altuve or Albies or Semien, it's Massey.
Cheese?
Yeah, agreed. Like I like Massey so much for that salary. Again, like Wainwright is just like he should not be pitching. If he was anyone other than Adam Wainwright, he would have been banished to the minors a month ago. And Massey's just too cheap. Yeah, I absolutely love Betts and Albies, but it's unless you can play like on FanDuel, you can play two of those guys if you want. But it's just Massey. I have nothing else to say.
Third base.
Third base is loaded and fantastic. This whole group, Machado, Arenado, Devers, Riley, Bregman, Chapman, Cabrian Hayes as the salary saver, especially on DK. I love him. And that doesn't even get to, like Ellie De La Cruz and Spencer Steer. There's a ton of things to do. I would not goof around too much with this position. Out of those expensive guys, I want Arenado and Riley the most, and I like Hayes the most as the cheaper guy.
Do we discuss Kim? Nim Fufu says Kim will be forgotten.
I mentioned him in kind of that mid-tier of guys you can play. Yeah.
All right. Carty, your thoughts at third?
Yeah. Arenado and Machado, especially on FanDuel tonight, are definitely underpriced. On DK, I don't think I'm spending all the way up there. Personally, I view Cabrian Hayes not just as like a cheap guy, but he projects almost as well as all of these top guys like Arenado, Machado, Riley, Devers, Bregman. So I have no problem just like saving the money and playing him because you lose very little in terms of projection. But all those other guys are great. And yeah, Matt Chapman as a one-off in GPPs for a home run. That's about all I'd add.
That brings us to shortstop.
Bobby Witt Jr. is definitely our top guy here for all the reasons we've mentioned, like in KC Bats already. He's almost 6K on DraftKings, and he's still a pretty decent value at that price. On FanDuel at 3.9, also really good value. The only thing is that we have Willy Adames, who's also in a ridiculous spot. He's a power hitter in a power park against a pitcher who gives up power, and he's 2.9K on FanDuel. So I think it's Witt or it's Adames for me over there. I do like the price point on Trey Turner. He's back up in the 3-hole. He's got the platoon advantage against Dallas Keuchel, who is somehow still pitching baseballs at this point in his lifetime. But he's doing that today against the Philadelphia Phillies. And so Turner at that price against him, I think, is certainly appealing. On DK, if you need to save money, it's probably like, Adames isn't really cheap, but 4.5 is fine. CJ Abrams at 4.4 is fine. Or you go down to Bryce Terang at 3K.
Okay. Geez, your thoughts at short?
Yeah, like every position, there's so many great plays, and you can do whatever you want to do. But like the super best plays are still not going to be that popular just because of the size of the slate. So just play Bobby Witt and Willy Adames and be done. Of course, don't be done if you're MME. Like I'm playing a bunch of things in stacks, but I have so much Witt and Adames, and I don't even feel like I have enough. If I would just play Bobby Witt in every lineup and be fine with it.
Okay. All right. Let's go to the outfield.
All right. It's a little trickier here, partly because you need three of them, and there's so many. I feel like the top plays are not as clear in the outfield as they are at the other positions. Like Acuna, sure, but super expensive. Tatis and Soto, I like. Betts, I like. Yelich, I like. The Astros guys will be kind of forgotten. Ohtani, I love. But like all those guys are bunched together and expensive. Like I would prioritize the infield spend ups, like Olsen, Witt, and one of the third basemen. So I'm okay just kind of goofing around a little bit in the outfield because the goofing around is actually pretty great. Like Royals and Cardinals at every position have all these cheap guys like your Tyler O'Neills, MJ Melendez in particular stand out. We've got like cheap Oakland guys, Blade and Seth Brown. We've got like Jock Peterson type plays in the mid tier, like the Pittsburgh guys, Henry Davis, McCutcheon. The mid tier to low tier, depending on where you cut off your salaries, are almost as good as the 6K plays to me. So this is where I'm saving my salary, is in the outfield.
In all three spots for not all lineups, but in many?
Yeah, I have a lot of lineups with all three cheap outfielders or mid tier.
Wow. Okay. Carty, I saw you nodding along when he mentioned some of the dumpster dive and the cheapies. You like it?
Yeah, I mean, we're on a lot of the same stuff tonight. In the upper tier, if I was going to spend on a guy, I think Tatis is the one I like the most. He's a little bit cheaper than Acuna, doesn't project a whole lot worse. It's a really good spot for the Padres tonight. So, especially on FanDuel, I like Tatis. I like the cheap St. Louis KC guys. Edward Olivares is one I don't think she's mentioned, but he's 2.4 on DraftKings, so he's really good as a cheap guy in the mix. And then I like the cheap and mid-tier Brewer stuff. Joey Wiemer for 2.3 on DK, I think, is a really good way to save money. And on FanDuel, Christian Yelich, 3.8 isn't like cheap, but it's cheap enough, and I think the spot is really good. So, you know, the Brewers are kind of the one spot I think where I maybe like them a little bit more than Cheese, and Yelich is definitely kind of one of the linchpins for that.
Very good, guys. We are about 20 minutes from lock, and we need some bomb calls. We need some home runs. Cheese, I'm going to start with you. Who do you like? Give me a couple names, something chalky and something.
Yeah, there's so many. Chalky, Matt Olson and Bobby Witt. Sneakier, moderately sneakier, Tyler O'Neill. And then sneakier still JJ Bleday, I guess.
Nice. That maybe answered a question that we had in the chat. DZ says, Cheese, if you can play one Brave in cash, is it Acuna or Olsen?
Olsen.
Okay. All right. Carty, you got some home run picks for me?
Yeah, the bad thing's the top guy tonight is Matt Olson. I don't know if he's like sneaky, but Willy Adames, I do think, is probably not going to be as owned as he should be, and he projects for one of the best chances tonight. In terms of betting, we have Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is our top bet, plus 550 over at Bet Rivers or any Camby book. We don't see like studs projecting that well very often, but Vlad tonight looks really good.
Very good. Okay, excellent. Let's dive into some of these QQs. Again, apologies if my mic is still popping a little bit. We'll get that worked on after the show. In the meantime, we will start with Amateur Hour, DK single entry GPPs. Carty, I will lead in with you. Lynn Realmuto or Snell and Jake Rogers?
What was the context of that one?
It was single entry DK GPP, Lynn Realmuto or Snell Jake Rogers.
I mean, Lynn Realmuto is definitely the better combo, like not even close. But it's also going to be chalkier. You need to know what's going on with the rest of your lineup.
I feel like we've discussed kind of there's enough out there where you don't have to get too crazy. So you can just play the better combo and get a little different with the bats, right?
Yeah, as long as you're not like, I don't know, stacking up that KC St. Louis game or something, you're probably fine to do that.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what else we got here. DK cash question, Carty. I'm coming back to you. Best outfielder, 3,100 or less.
On DK, that was?
Yes.
I'd really rather get the extra 200 to get up to Melendez. If you can't, it's probably all the way down to Joey Wiemer and just spend money somewhere else. Like he's the actual best guy under that price point.
Okay, gotcha. Let's see what else is happening here. FanDuel single entry Cheese from Falcor. You want Nootbaar and Gorman. Nootbaar's going yard, by the way. Nootbaar and Gorman or Soto and Cronenworth?
That's one I think I'm willing to get a little sneaky and go the Padres way.
Okay. FanDuel single entry, your favorite pitcher. This is a fun question, Cheese. One tournament on FanDuel. Who are you playing?
Castillo.
Okay. Can I throw that one to you as well, Carty? You got a tournament pick for me on FanDuel for single entry?
Yeah, give me the Jonah Don thing. I'll do that.
Okay. That's the super cheap guy. It's like 5K over there.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Did have Joseph ask, hey, any weather concerns? And the short of it is not really. Play whatever you want. No, not really. Let's see what else we've got. Cheese, FanDuel Cash, Yelich or Soto?
Yelich in cash.
Okay. FanDuel Cash is a 3v3. Carty, I'm coming your way with this one. Tyler O'Neill, Tatis, and Salvi.
Yes.
Or Casty,
Yes.
Nootbaar, and Trey Turner.
It's definitely the first one.
Okay, easy enough. FanDuel Cash, right back to you, Carty. Casty v. Melendez. Casty or Melendez?
That's probably Melendez for me.
Okay. Also, Lindor is scratched, if anyone cares. Do we care? Cheese, you got some Lindor?
I mean, in MME, Met stacks are in play, but that's not a big deal.
Okay. What else do we have here? Rocky Raccoon says, excuse me, Derek Cartographer, could you draw me a map to your favorite low-owned stack on FanDuel? Thank you, Captain.
That's pretty good. I love that.
We need to get this guy like some swag or something just for the creativity in the questions.
Absolutely. There's probably not going to be like real chalky stacks tonight, so I don't think you have to get too weird. Like if you just want to play Padres or Braves or something, you can. I would say Brewers though, if you want something that's a little more off the radar. I like the Brewers a lot tonight.
Okay, and since I'm giving love to the Discord chat, I got to give a shout out to Aside as well. He always brings the fun with the questions. Let's see here. D Dot says no love for Chris Sale. Cheese, I don't think you mentioned Sale.
First start back, they said 4 innings. So now, I mean, theoretically, I mean, sure, but there's just no upside. So I want to see him get a little worked into, I don't know, 5 innings before I start playing him.
Okay, that works. Best cheap pitcher, Cheese, DKGPP in the 7 to 8K range. I feel like there was a few guys in there.
That's
you got a favorite?
There's so many and they're so close. Yeah. I guess I like Blackburn, who's actually 69, one below that. Otherwise, I think I would say Kyle Gibson at 77.
Okay. By the way, I think the mic issue was just a stupid virtual background. I need an old school Cheese background. Now I think my mic is good now. So
what do you mean background? That's my window.
That's just, yeah. It's a weird, it looks a little wavy, almost a little curtain-like, but all right, I'll buy it. Let's see what else we've got here. DKGPP, Carty, single entry, your favorite pitcher to pair with Lynn. I don't care about ownership.
DK, single entry, don't care about ownership. I mean, if you have the money to do like Luis Castillo, that's awesome. If you need to save money, I'd say Johan Oviedo.
Okay, great. Where are we here? This is kind of a generic question. It just says SP2. So, Carty, do you feel like you just answered that one with like Lynn or Oviedo for SP2?
In cash, I want to probably play a guy like Castillo or Verlander. I'll take the savings on Verlander. Probably that's fine. You can do a guy like Oviedo, but it's not like anyone else besides that top 3 is like actually good. They're all kind of just like, eh. So in GPPs, you're taking shots, you want to find the one that hits. In cash, I'd be more comfortable just spending a little bit, especially because we have plenty of value on this slate.
Right. Very good. All right. Let's see. FanDuel GPP, Cheese, this is for you. Burns or Verlander?
Burns, but both.
Okay. Aside says, hey, Carty, will my guy Luplau get pinch hit for the moment a righty is on the mound? How high is his pinch hit risk?
Let me take a look. I mean, historically, he's a guy who was always pinch hit for 29%, which isn't ridiculous, but it's definitely high.
Yeah, it's elevated. All right. Jumping into the YouTube chat here, make sure you hit us with a little thumbs up as I take some of these questions. We still have 12, 13 minutes or so. Here we go. On DK, gray or sale? Gray or sale? Cheese? It's gray.
Absolutely not.
Come again?
No.
That's
no. Like there's so many pitchers in that range, and those are the two I wouldn't play.
Okay.
I mean, you're allowed to play either. Like on some slates, those guys would be in play. But to me, I have like 50 lineups with 0 of either, so I can't answer that honestly.
You did. You can answer it, and you did. I like it. The answer is negative. All right. FanDuel cash in the outfield, Carty. He's got $4,100 FanDuel cash in the outfield. Can you look up your favorite play there?
That's going to be Tatis for sure. He's 39, I think.
Very easy. Okay. John says DKGPP. Carty, right back to you. My boy Torkelson or Santana?
I mean, honestly, I don't love either tonight. I guess give me Torkel. No, give me Santana.
Okay. Nymphufu says, I need a Braves outfielder not named Acuna, DK MME. Is that where is Olsen a?
No. So we run into this every day. You got Ozuna, Rosario, Harris, and they're
Okay.
all always around the same price. They're all usually hitting 6, 7, 8, or 9. You're really just kind of throwing darts, but McGill is weaker against lefties, so knock Ozuna out. I would lean Harris, but really those 3 are always just a toss-up.
Okay. We'll go to Bobby's question. He says, hey, I might have missed it, but does Cheese still like Skubal?
I do. There's still a limit on him, and this is, there is risk in the matchup. So like, I don't love him. And he's not my favorite of that mid 7K range, but yes, I am playing him.
Okay. Let's see. Can't Ban the Snowman says, in a FanDuel GPP, Carty, would you prefer Burns or Verlander? Did I do that one? We did that one, didn't we?
You did not. I think for me, I'd go Verlander. His stuff hasn't been great lately, but I'm not a big fan of this spot for Burns, so I'll take Verlander. I think Cheese would probably go Burns though.
Yeah, that you did ask that question to me, and I lean Burns, but like, yeah, it's very close, and I think we both prefer Castillo over both of them, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what else we got. We took the Skubal question. DK GPP, that's a yes. DK Cash, Carty, Betts or Tatis, your better outfielder to spend up on if you do have the cash?
I think it's Tatis for me. I really think this spot for the Padres is really good, and I don't think people are talking about as much as they should. So I like it in GPPs, but I like it in cash too. So Tatis is my guy, and he's a little cheaper.
Okay. Cheese, we've got a name I've never heard of. FanDuel cash, min salary, Weston Wilson? Is that Weston Wilson?
Yeah, he's real, and probably has some real power. I think he's a very viable min salary piece. Yeah, he plays for the Phillies. Just came up and he had
What's that game we used to play? Baseball player or country singer? What did you used to play that with?
Yeah. I would have leaned country singer for Weston Wilson for sure. Yeah. FanDuel cash question. Carty, right back to you here. Whit Melendez or Adames Soto?
That is so close. Whit Melendez, but there's not a wrong answer.
Yeah. But for tournaments, you love Adames Soto, right?
For tournaments, I'd go Adames Soto, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what the question said? I missed the context.
No, it was cash. It was a cash question.
Okay.
Yeah. Chinatown says, DK Cash, does Cheese think that Christopher Sanchez in cash is batshit?
He does.
Oh, he does. Okay.
Yes. Not in cash. A viable tournament play. Don't do that in cash. That would be silly.
Yeah. Hey, have we mentioned that NFL is here? It's here. We got preseason happening. We are more ready than ever with our team of experts. You're looking at some of them, our fantastic suite of tools. Let us handle the legwork. You can do less, win more this NFL season. You can get access to everything we have to offer at a special discount available only to those without a RotoGrinders subscription. We're looking at some of you watching us on YouTube right here. You get a full season subscription for $50 off at a limited time price of $375. So make sure you're checking that out. It's where it all started, baby. It started with the football. We've got some of the best content providers in the biz when we talk about the foosball. So make sure you're hanging out with us here, not just all season long, but all year long. That's what we do. More QQs coming in here. Brendan says DK Cash. Carty, it's a 3v3 for you. Verlander, Tatis, O'Neill, or Castillo, Acuna, Burleson?
That's really close. I think I'll take the Verlander side just because I think O'Neill is significantly better than Burleson, and the others are kind of close, but that's fine. Either one, really.
Okay. All right. Cheese, I'm coming to you here. Finishing out a St. Louis stack, Burleson or Walker?
Walker.
John says, at first base, Cheese, I've got 4,300 on DK. Who do you love?
First base 43. Yeah, that's what I thought. That was going to be 44. So I don't love anybody, honestly. And that's right at the range where if you can use salary, I would go down to like Seth Brown or Brendan Belt, and then you have $1,000. Because I really don't. At 44, $100 more, you have Candelario and Sal Perez, who I like. But 43, I mean, I guess Carlos Santana. But if you can use the money, just go down more.
Okay. The Big Hurt FanDuel single entry piece, Goldie or Kim in the util. Carty, I'll give that to you. FanDuel single entry, Goldie or Kim in the util.
Goldie's going to be significantly more popular. He's also the better play. But like I said, I like the spot for the Padres tonight. So, depends on the rest of your lineup.
Okay. Cheese Snowfighter says barbecue wings or like garlic wings.
I would lean barbecue there.
Yeah, same. But I prefer like just a typical like wing sauce, like a hot sauce.
Yeah, definitely.
Barbecue and then teriyaki is in the mix as well. I'll mess with the teriyaki. All right, what else do we got here? Is Jeffrey says, is Oviedo okay to play with Blackburn? Cheese? You want Oviedo okay with Blackburn?
Okay, yeah, he's at the bottom of my list of those 7K guys, but again, they're all good and close. I would not yell at you for that at all.
Okay. Carty, this one's for you from Dave. He says, 2,900 or less FanDuel cash. He's already got Garcia. Do I go Hayes, Menendez, Adames, somebody else?
I mean, all the guys you just mentioned are good. If you don't have Tyler O'Neill yet, he's a little bit cheaper than that, but get Tyler O'Neill and spend the rest elsewhere because he's better than all those guys straight up.
Okay. Eric Johnson says, I'm all in on the Rockies. How drunk do I have to be? Is this like me on a Tuesday, or is this me? Is this me with DerekCarty? Okay, yeah, it's very drunk. How many stacks, Cheese, do you have of the Rockies?
Honestly, I like the Rockies more than I should. Lance Lynn, the home runs to lefties are very real. Like Ryan McMahon and Nolan Jones should hit home runs off of him a majority of the time. I don't mean majority of the bats. Like if they play a bunch of games, those guys are going to home run a lot. They're going to home run a lot. I kind of like the Rockies. More mini stack lefties.
Okay. There you go.
But keep in mind, I mean, it's a way off the board. Like you're likely to lose. Like playing
deep
on
tournament play.
That lineup. Yeah.
20 plus lineups, deep tournament play. Not crazy. Okay. Let's see. Tournament question, Cheese, Betts or Tatis? I feel like, Carty, you were leaning Tatis here, right? In the Betts Tatis question.
I mean, so great. I leaned slightly Betts, but like those, I would say those are plays number 3 and 4 on the slate for me. I go Witt, Olsen, Betts, Tatis. So like whatever.
Stardog Champion has a good question. We're gonna save it till after lock, but I'll just address it now. Can you ask these two guys how they got so good at DFS? That's a great question. We're going to save that until after lock, but I do really like it. You don't have to tell your whole life story, but a brief summary. NBA DFS says, Carty, I know the answer is probably both, but Olsen or Betts in FanDuel Cash?
Again, I prefer Tatis, but I guess I probably like Betts a little bit more than Olsen, but it's a toss-up.
Okay. Any love for the Giants in GPPs? Anybody out there?
It's another one of those, super long shot. I mean, a 13 game slate, the chance of the Giants being the team is very low, but it's there. I mean, I have them in my MME mix. Yeah.
Okay. All right. FanDuel cash question, Carty. It's a 2v2, O'Neal and Bohm or Castellanos and Trey Turner.
I think it's the O'Neal one. I don't love Bohm, but O'Neal I feel like is a must on FanDuel cash at his price.
Okay. DKGPP question, Cheese, over to you from the Grinch. It's a 3v3, Scooball, Arenado, and A. Burleson, or Blackburn, Riley, and Jay Walker.
Very much like both sides of that. I lean Blackburn, Riley, Walker.
Okay. Hoosiers Hang Banner says, Cheese, I haven't heard much love for Devers tonight.
True. Like he's just third base is so stacked. And for the first couple at bats, I mean, him against Scooball is not a great matchup. So you're kind of spending up for a couple at bats against the bullpen. So of course he's playable. Like he's a great player, but for me, he's like the sixth third baseman. And with saying all six are fantastic.
Yeah, right. Gotcha. All right. Derek just pointing out Papa John's has surprisingly very good barbecue wings. They're very meaty. Okay, that's
really
noted. I may take advantage of that. D-Nail says Ohtani against Verlander. Carty, Ohtani against Verlander?
You can. I mean, this is not one of the better Ohtani spots, and we have outfielders in really good spots tonight. You know, you can.
Okay.
He's Ohtani.
Few folks saying, hey, great show. I think now is a good time to get into the question. How did you get so good at DFS? Cheese, I'm going to start with you. At this point, you've been doing this forever, right? Like literally forever. Do you think it's learning new things? It's sticking to your guns? What do you think makes you still successful at this point?
Well, the short answer is the same answer as if you ask that about anything at which someone is good.
Do it.
Practice. Like the more you do something, the better you get. Like it really is that simple. Yep. With DFS, you do have to adapt. I mean, like I play wildly differently than I played 10 years ago, which is wildly differently than I played 5 years ago. Every season and even parts of seasons, I'm doing things a totally different way. But really, I mean, the only actual answer to that is all I do all the time, all day, every day. And so you're going to get good at something if you do it all the time, or you're just going to have to quit. Like, so
right.
There's really no substitute for just spending time on it.
Yeah. Okay. Good answer. Carty, do you feel differently? Do you feel like it is your knowledge of statistics that makes you good, or your understanding of probabilities, or a similar spot?
I mean, that all really helps for sure, but it is a lot of what Chief said. The first thing that came into my mind was adaptability, because the game is so much different than it was 10 years ago, 5 years ago. So you need to be able to adapt. Knowing math and having a basic understanding of probability, I think, is really important. Having an actual conception of what is actually the likely chance of this stack hitting, this pitcher getting blown up, like having like the real percentages kind of even just like in the back of your mind, like inherently knowing them, I think is important. And projections help a lot. Projections make things a lot easier. So listen, I have to say it because it's true. Projections help a lot. And the game theory component is really important. Blender HD, Jordan Cooper, is super good at teaching that sort of thing. And I've learned a lot from him. So got to give credit where credit's due.
That is a good point. Like if you're sort of new and don't understand any like game theory angles when people talk about that, like do check out like the course that the book that Blender wrote, or watch some of his shows, like because he kind of breaks things down in an easy to understand way if you're not familiar with probability and things like that.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. I feel like that's a great way to end it. If you don't mind hitting us with a little thumbs up, we're trying to keep the show free for you guys. And these are literally two of the best in the biz doing it. So we're going to bounce on out of here. Noah says projections are useless. Ban that man. Ban him. Get him out of here.
Something tells me Noah's not a very profitable player. And the only, I think it needs to be clear. Like, I know Cheese isn't like a big projection guy, but because Cheese does this every day and has such an understanding of the ins and outs of every single player, he's coming up with basically like a mental projection in his head that is very close to an actual projection. Like, we're not actually that far off on a lot of things, but if you're just like casual Johnny DFS and you're not using projections, you're probably not good.
You're toast. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. If you don't know whatever sport you're playing or have some baseline for what you're doing, you do need something to go off of. Yeah. I don't disagree with that at all.
And I find it fascinating that, like, we talked about Blender, and sorry to keep this rolling, but he plays sports that he literally has no idea what's going on in the sport, just looking at the projections, like Carty said, but then also understanding the game theory and, where the field is going to be on those projections. And that it's just ownership, projections, and
if you have projections
through really well.
Yeah. If you have projections, you are going to be much better at DFS by learning game theory than by trying to learn about players and stats and stuff. The projections do all that for you. And then adding the game theory component is really what's going to make you a really good player.
Yeah. Okay. There you have it. I feel like that was a great way to end it for Cheese, for Carty, for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes. Guys, we appreciate you. We love you. And we will catch you tomorrow. You have been crushed.